All right, welcome to the Krug Show on a Saturday night after Warrior basketball, after youth basketball. More on that in a minute. After the first teams come out in Where's Jimmy Headed Next, we'll talk about that tonight. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? The Super Bowl is a week from tomorrow. We'll get into that as well. The NBA trade deadline is this week. Do the Warriors need to make a move? We'll get into that. We got an exciting panel tonight. The Blair Witch Project to my left here is Ryan Smith. Dan Cochimilio, top box. Yes, Dan is eating.
Not yet.
I thought I saw you chewing there, Danny. No.
Oh, that was pregame show. I got some in-show foods for us tonight to sample, and we should be ready to go. Ryan, we need a little more light on you, man. What can I see that shirt? Can I see that shirt? You got a tie on?
Look at that.
No ties.
Oh, look at that. He dressed for the show. He dressed for the show.
It's got a lot of stains on it. I'll tell you what.
Bottom of the screen, Bay Area baller in the house. Frank Red, good to see you, Red. Good to see you, baller. Right now, I don't see any billowing smoke in the green room, so Cy has not arrived yet. But he'll be there because you know how much Cy likes to talk about a 119-113 Warrior win over the Dallas Mavericks, and we'll talk about that. But before we start any of that, we've got a new title sponsor to the show. It's Pig in a Pickle. The best barbecue in the Bay Area. Check them out. They're in Emeryville, open 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday. They're in Corte Madera in Marin County. They're open 7 days a week. I went there today with my son to do a little filming. The brisket was amazing. The chips that are cooked in beef fat and salted with the same rub that he puts on his barbecue chicken are absolutely the bomb. So I had that, had a little lunch, had a little root beer, sat there.
Root beer. Ooh, I like root beer.
Yeah.
Root beer. They have root beer at Pig in a Pickle?
They got root beer, and it's not just like it's not like A&W root beer. It's like nice root beer. It's like good root beer. It's like the root beer that mom would say, okay, you can have that root beer.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it was a great lunch. But check out Pig in a Pickle. Damon and Mary, the owners of Pig in a Pickle, great fans of the show, now title sponsors of the show. Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue around. And if you're in the Bay Area, you know what? Check it out every day. I mean, go there, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And tell them that Krug sent you. That's really the key. Go in there, tell them that you're a fan of the Krug show and that you really appreciate them sponsoring the show. And that will make everybody happy. So we get going with that.
Absolutely. Get that. If you eat
the barbecue,
pig in a pickle,
get that barbecue in you.
Yeah, if you get pig in a pickle and you get Pasquale's Italian sausage for the weekends and some breakfast, you're set. That's all you need. I mean, pig in a pickle and Italian sausage, you're good to go.
Know what? I'm gonna grow up with a Sunday dinner.
See, we grew up with the Sunday dinner.
I'm gonna go tomorrow. I'm gonna go tomorrow for lunch.
Pig in the Pickle, Emeryville, or Pig in the Pickle, Marin County. Tell them that Krug sent you. Great spot though. That will be your new barbecue place. All right, before we get rolling, if we're doing barbecue, and you can have anything, literally anything. Okay, give me your one meat and your one side, and basically it's barbecue chicken, house-made sausages, pork ribs. Like the baby backs,
pork ribs,
or brisket, and then the sides are potato salad. They have a unbelievable white mac and cheese, which I don't even do mac and cheese myself, but my kid loves mac and cheese. Like, Dad, that's a great freaking mac and cheese. All right, I believe him. And you can have any side.
Any coleslaw?
Want. You can go. You can pick your side. He's basically got them all.
Do they have coleslaw?
Danny, they got coleslaw. And
okay,
if they don't have
slamming
it for you,
down.
when you show up, they're going to make it.
I got brisket.
You going brisket?
I'm got brisket, and I want some mild barbecue sauce maybe on that.
Ooh.
And coleslaw.
I'm going brisket. I went brisket today, and I'm going potato salad. A really good potato salad with maybe a little, onion in there, some things mixed in there. I'm going potato salad. Rye?
I'm partial to the coleslaw, especially if I can cheat on some of those chips. as
Oh,
my
you got to get the
potato
chips. I
filling.
mean, the chips are unbelievable. The
Chips.
beef fat
see, then
chips.
I can get rid of my chips. I would have to say also, I don't know how many of you out there were watching our show. I believe it was Wednesday night where we did like an hour straight on like candy power.
Candy?
We did an entire starting 9 of power of candies and like treats. Oh my God! So then the following night, as I'm pretty sure I was humiliated and this was thrown to the public. But I was actually babysitting at 27 years old, just trying to make a little extra side hustle.
Man, you got
Niner season's over, you know. And guess what? I walk into this place and they're like, feel free to have anything, anything in the fridge, anything in the cupboards. I open up these cupboards, this refrigerator, and it is just all like it's like all like middle school food or middle school kid food. It's fruit roll-ups everywhere, all sorts of different types of M&Ms, all the best sugary cereals and like chips, and I just did a number on myself. I felt so bad.
You didn't give us your meat. You just went coleslaw. We're at a barbecue place.
If I'm gonna, no,
Damon, he's fine. He's just gonna get the coleslaw.
Yeah.
Rye's that way. That's the way Rye rolls. He's just going coleslaw.
Actually, you know what? I'll go pulled pork with like kind of a.
Pulled pork.
Do they have
That's
kind of a
killer.
Carolina barbecue sauce? So kind of a tangy sort of situation.
Baller.
Probably.
What's your meat? What's your side?
Brisket. He's going brisket. Baller looks like a brisket.
I'm going ribs.
He's going ribs.
Pork
Okay.
ribs, beef ribs, whatever ribs you got. Send them my way. And for the side, I'm going baked beans. I like me a good baked beans.
Oh, that's good. Good. Yeah, that's good.
That ain't bad. Red, where are you?
Good choice. Good choice.
And Red, I don't know if did you ever, who I became good friends with when I first came to KMBR? And I seriously, when I told my dad, I'm like, I consider this guy kind of a good friend. He's like, what? Really? Nate Thurmond. I used to go to his barbecue place when my wife and I lived in the city, and it was down on Folsom and 13th Street.
Yeah.
And it was nothing there. It was just, a couple guys standing there, the tables. It was really like almost like a cafeteria looking thing. But the food was unbelievable at Big Nate's barbecue. And until he passed, man, Big Nate used to be a regular listener to me and Gary and call in, and we'd see him. He'd send us cards. I mean, Big Nate Thurmond. I mean, I didn't see that much of him as a player, but I've seen the highlights. But what a sweetheart of a guy, man. You wouldn't find a better guy. His barbecue place, incredible.
Yeah, I should enjoy watching Nate on television. Kind of like you, Larry, a little bit before my time, but always a very eloquent gentleman and a hell of a player.
You guys remember his number?
It was the number 0, right?
13, right?
No.
Was it 13?
13?
42.
42. There you go. There you go. I'm with Barry Baller, and we didn't plan this, but I rarely eat pork ribs, but I love them. So some nice pork ribs with some barbecue sauce and some baked beans and some coleslaw on the side.
No cheating.
And a nice iced tea. Oh, man.
Hey, pork ribs are to die for, though, man.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, seriously.
As
long as they're meaty, meaty ribs.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, good to see all you guys. Welcome, and thanks to everybody for joining us. And we'll get to the comments in the chat here in just a second. But what'd you guys think? Let's go around the room on the Warriors. Before we get to Warriors, I can't believe I'm skipping this. I got to ask Red one coaching question. What can I do to get my 13-year-old kid to use the goddamn backboard? I mean, seriously, he's and it's like I thought it was just my kid. It's all these kids that are like 12 and 13. They're 2 feet under the bucket. He uses the backboard about 10% of the amount of time that he should. I mean, he should live on that backboard, and no. And he's missing these little bunnies. I was thinking maybe $1 every time he goes with the backboard, maybe going straight to the contract. But I don't know, Red. I mean, you coached the game. You've been around the game. You played it collegiately. How do you get little kids to embrace the backboard? Using the backboard.
Well, kids are visual learners, and they can focus on their eyes. And when I started coaching, I actually started coaching in middle school. And one of the drills that we used to do was backboards have a rectangle. So what you do is you line them up. You have a rebounded line and you have a shooting line. And you have them as a team or as a player that you're practicing with. make 10 in a row. And tell them what you have to do is hit the ball in the middle of the rectangle. And once the ball starts to go in, because it will go in, it will become a part of their game. So when you're on the court and there's a rectangle, what's like a lot of baskets have them focus on putting the ball inside of the rectangle, and he'll like the ball going in, because it doesn't go in a lot of times when you just shoot it off the backboard, because you have these weird angles. But put it in the center of the rectangle, practice that, and he'll be successful. And I think that will become a part of his game.
Before Danny jumps in, because Danny's obviously got a family of coaches and knows ball. I used to coach. You know what I used to do? And I don't coach my kid's team, but he's lucky I don't. Because we would take our team, usually 12 guys, right? And I'd line 6 of them up on this hoop and 6 of them up on another hoop. And they would just have to, they each had a ball. They had to shoot it off the bucket, and it either went and they went to the back of the line. Next guy had to shoot it off the bucket. You had to rebound your own ball, get out of the guy's way. And we made it a race to 10. Who could make the most? Because let's be honest, most of the time when you're shooting that shot, you don't got a lot of time. You got to get it up quick, unless you're on some breakaway and you're Dominique or something, you're jamming anyway in that situation. But usually if you got a shot right, a bunny, you better be able to get it off quick. So we would do that. And then I would go race to 10, and the losing team would go do liners, and nobody likes to run. You know what I'm saying? And it's amazing when you throw in running and the pain that goes with that, how good kids get at using the backboard. But
I like my boy Kelts in the comments section. He said, no backboard, no phone time. I like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was going to
hit him where he hurts.
Yeah, that's good. I was going to give you another practical tip. Do you have a hoop at home?
No.
Okay. If you have a hoop at home, you stick them out there and say 25 in a row off the backboard if you want to have dinner tonight. Kind of like I want to see, you want back in the house to eat, just keep laying them off that board, man.
By the way, Carlo P., our friend in the chat, says burnt ends. Ooh.
Oh,
burnt ends with some barbecue sauce.
Gosh, man, we need to sample.
Not even going a little spicy.
You know what we need to do? We need to actually, when we do these shows and we talk about this kind of stuff, it starts to kind of get you like thinking about it and you get hungry.
Yeah.
We need to actually do a show at Pig and a Pickle and actually be eating this while we're talking, sample this stuff, because I'm thinking, I got a 1.5, 2 hour flight to get up there. I'm ready to fly up now. I'm getting hungry.
Check out Pig and a Pickle. They're in Corte Madera. They're in Emeryville. Best barbecue in the Bay. All right, let's get to the Warriors. 119-113, wire to wire over the Mavericks. Golden State bust out with a 40-point first quarter, and they were up big. I mean, it was 40-23 at the end of one. Golden State maintained that lead going into the half. They maintained that lead going into the fourth. And even though Dallas, won the fourth 27-17, 119-113, Golden State goes wire to wire and they get it done. Mavericks, of course, tonight without Luka. What did you guys think of the game? What's your big takeaway? Let's go around the room. Red, let's start with you.
Glad they won. I saw Steve Kerr working. He was agonizing inside, but he knew that when things were starting to unravel, he had to work through it because he doesn't know how long Steph's going to be out. And for the betterment of this team, he has to get his guys to step up and take upon the maturity to execute down the clutch. They've lost a lot of games in these sequences throughout the year, and he's working with it. The one puzzling thing for me is just the lack of focus by Jordan Poole. Steve Kerr has more confidence in Dante DiVincenzo and Jerome and Ty Jerome in pressure situations. And
I do too.
Well, it's just not a good look. And then I'm gonna give you another play. Dinwiddie just kind of punks him, just kind of elbows him in the head because he doesn't respect him. And I'm rooting for this guy, but he got to step it up, man, because when your star player gets injured, it's a part of the game. It should be a Brock Purdy moment where the engine just keeps flowing because everybody's ready to step up. I'm glad they won. I saw a lot of great plays, Draymond and so many other guys. but I was very disappointed by Jordan Poole's lack of focus and maturity to step up and take over that game when Steph went out.
Yeah, I was happy that DiVincenzo that he pulled Poole out of the game at the last couple of minutes and got DiVincenzo in. I was like screaming, get him out of there, because DiVincenzo's their best playmaker, in my opinion.
I trust DiVincenzo more than Jordan Poole in crunch time, at least.
Yeah, Jordan Poole. I mean, Dante DiVincenzo knows how to play the game. He knows how to drive, and he's strong enough to either take it all the way to the glass, or when they double team him, he's got acrobatic ways to be able to dish it off to the open man. And I just really like that about his game. So, yeah, to me, tonight's game was about a couple things. DiVincenzo, Jonathan Kuminga is blossoming the more he plays, and he's getting his game. He's getting smarter with his plays. In fact, I tweeted to a couple of you guys out, I think, one of the plays where he actually saw a mismatch and he got the ball down to Draymond, and then Draymond kicked it to a cutting DiVincenzo for a dunk. It was beautiful because he was open at the free throw line, Kuminga. He could have just taken a 15-foot shot, but he saw something and he recognized it. Now, I don't think he would have done that last year. I think he would have just hoisted it, or he would have tried to drive, but he's learning the game and learning the Warriors offense. So to me, Kuminga is just, I wouldn't trade him. We're talking about trades later on. I would not trade Jonathan Kuminga.
No. Warriors were in control the whole game, right? Yeah. The last few minutes, things got hairy because what happened? They started committing too many turnovers. You saw Poole throw a ball out of bounds, and that's when Kerr made the swap to insert DiVincenzo. But when you're playing a Dallas Maverick team with no Luka Doncic, no Christian Wood, and Luka, undoubtedly, he's a top 5 player in the NBA. So when he's out, you got to win that game. And we've seen the Warriors lose multiple games that they should have won this year. The Pistons come to mind. But the Steph Curry injury, right? What is it? MRI's coming tomorrow. Anything with the knee always gets me a bit concerned. So there's some concern there. But I got to shout out Draymond Green. Draymond was phenomenal tonight, and even he had a little limp to his getup at the end of the game. But Draymond was exceptional. 9 boards, 9 assists. Hit 3 threes tonight, so he was contributing that way. Also, I want to shout out JaMychal Green. JaMychal Green in the first half was terrific, and what I loved was how active he was. He was blocking shots. He was flying around. And it was refreshing to see. I remember in the first half just thinking JaMychal Green is bringing the energy, and that's what we need from him.
Damn, what happened there? All of a sudden, Rye had a Macanudo rolling or something. I'm hoping it was a Macanudo. It might have been a. What'd you get there? What are you firing up there, Sparky?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah,
got you on camera there.
I was like, I totally. Why'd you start so late? The game ended, and then you told me 8:30, and I'm like, I almost passed out.
It's 8:50,
and it's I was like,
passed out at 8:50.
Like 8:30 nap is what I did. So
a young Cy would have had many hours left of the night. 8:50. I
was gonna wake up.
You're going down. Good night for 8:50. I tell my kids, if you ever see me sleeping before 11 o'clock at night, call 911. I'm probably dead.
I can see that. I can see that.
I mean, seriously, I do. I absolutely never go to bed. Midnight.
There would not have been a permanent sleep. I just was dozing. I was just in a comfort zone, and Warriors won. I'm not worried about the Steph injury. Are you guys panicking?
We haven't even talked about it. We talked about everything else.
Okay. What I think it is, just based on what I saw, it's either a bruise, contusion type, or it could be a very, very slight strain of the MCL because it went in, and he could, where if it's something like that, I think it's maybe a week, 2 weeks most.
Yeah, I'm not worried. It just
Dr. Dan.
That's my guess.
Based on Red, you played, dude. That looked like a bump of knees,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
it looked like a tweak. And I'm gonna tell you something. I looked at their schedule. I wouldn't have a problem if he was out for 2 weeks and he missed the All-Star game. To be quite honest, go to Utah, shake some hands, smile, take some pictures, and take 2 weeks off and get ready for the run.
De'Aaron Fox take his place.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally
agree.
Yeah. Carlo P just throws Dan is the jack of all trades. And is Carlo P live in the 55 and over community?
Carlo, yeah, he's just down the street from me. No,
Carlo, get over here, buddy.
I don't know where Carlo P is, but
no, seriously, I
like Carlo P.
I think Frank's right though. Bypass Utah. Just this is the one to get the rest on, right? I mean, you know what? I mean, I bet you the people who normally show up at the NBA All-Star game probably going to be like, you know what? Maybe I'll just Zoom. I'll have a Zoom or something,
Right.
I'll Zoom myself there. I don't want to go there. Also, Utah in February. That's never, come on. I don't know if Utah's any month really, but definitely not in February. I love what I'm seeing out of Kuminga. I think Kuminga's getting ready to explode. Danny's kind of referenced it a few times, and it's totally right on. 20 minutes tonight, 6 of 11, but it's not the numbers; it's just the dominance, and you can see all the pieces coming together. And I don't know who is responsible for putting together the rosters for the rookie sophomore game, but you're going to schedule an open floor game that people are going to basically just watch guys run up and down and dunk. And you told Jonathan Kuminga not to show up? I mean, what?
That's
crazy. He should have been the first pick. You shouldn't even have that game if he's not in it. I mean, that's like, come on, Kuminga, everybody do you know how many people would love to see that guy in an open floor game with windmill jams and Dominique double pump reverses? And I mean, cause he'll do that in the game anyway. If you put him in that kind of a game where that kind of thing is just totally welcomed, I think he would try all kinds of crazy things and we would win as the audience to be able to watch it.
I'm telling you, it's going to be scary when
how does he not get into that game?
Takes flight with nobody around him. A lot of his dunks, he's getting, a couple guys around him. But if he gets the step with no one down the lane, you're going to see the windmill of all windmills. That guy gets up quick. He just goes boom. He goes from whatever floor to 3.5 feet off the ground quick. I bet his vertical's got to be up there with David Thompson. I remember David Thompson as a kid growing up had a 44-inch vertical.
He was a major vertical guy. Who is in the career, in the history of basketball, who's the best Kuminga comp? Who's the guy that reminds you of the most of any in history?
Especially with
or now, just period.
With his added emphasis on defense, I see Kawhi Leonard. Not to mention, like, Kawhi Leonard, I think the Spurs made the finals in just his second year. And they should have won. I mean, that was the one where Popovich, people praise him as being this, almighty coach, and rightfully so for the most part. But what a blunder to take Tim Duncan out in that final moment of Game 6, because he would have grabbed that rebound that the Spurs did not grab. But my point is, I'm going off on a tangent. I see Kawhi Leonard, especially with Kuminga emphasizing defense now more than ever. And he's starting to actually care about defense. He's taking pride in it. Between the physicality of the two, that's what I see. I don't know, only more athletic. But
what do you guys see? I mean, one thing I'll say about Kawhi is, that would be like a good goal for Kuminga to get to Kawhi. But Kawhi's got so much more pace and maturity in the half court as far as his ability to kind of pick his mid-range games.
I see inklings of. I'm sorry.
I do see the comparisons.
I see inklings of Dennis Rodman, like a young Dennis Rodman, where he just comes on the court, and his athleticism and his physicality allows positive things to happen. You don't know what's going to happen, but you know that his energy when he's on the court is going to enthuse his teammates, and ultimately, I think, lead to successful plays, dunks, passes, runouts, blocks, rebounds. Just a multitude of things are happening now when Kuminga is on the court. And Dan made a point earlier. His basketball IQ has risen I'm going to say at least 3 levels since the start of the season. And that's what I think that's what I'm most impressed about, because that means that he can play with the other smart players on the team and instinctively make the right plays in the most pressure point situations. And that's really what the Warriors are based on.
I got a
Baller,
couple players that
think?
come
Who's
to
your
mind.
comp?
Yeah, a couple guys. First, I'm going with the Matrix, Sean Marion.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to go Matrix. Yep.
Sean Marion. The other guy that kind of comes to mind, I think Kuminga actually has a better jumper than Gerald Wallace. Gerald Wallace, supremely athletic, good on defense, but I think Kuminga actually has a higher ceiling than
that's
Gerald
the only
Wallace.
reason why I don't like those comps is just because those are low ceilings. I think Kuminga could be
much
higher than
they're
that.
damn good players, though. Sean Marion and Gerald Wallace were really good players.
Yeah, and Marion,
but really, they're not great. I mean, these aren't like they were what, like maybe made one All-Star game each.
No, Marion was more than that. Marion is I mean, Marion had a hell of a career.
Yeah, he did.
Career.
Yeah, he did. I'm going to give you 2, one past and one present. The past, you might scoff at this, but Kuminga's only 20. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Scottie Pippen, when he came to promise, was in his 22, 23 years old. So Kuminga, when he gets to 23, and then he's just starting, he's at 23, 5 years into the league when Pippen was just kind of getting going. So I think his ceiling is kind of like Scottie Pippen, and I see a little Jaylen Brown in him, because Jaylen Brown, when he first came to the league, was not very polished. And look at him now, and he's like 25.
I like that.
I see some real growth for Kuminga. That's why I wouldn't get rid of him.
Yeah, I see special. I mean, he's just really entertaining. Those are all good ones. I like the Marion comp just because he plays bigger than he is, and so did Marion. Marion was just.
And Marion, actually, I stand corrected. He actually had a better resume than I thought. 4-time All-Star. He was actually a 2-time All-NBA player. So
yeah, I mean, I think that's what we're talking about. I think we're talking about a dominant, long, he's even more fluid than Marion, though, to be honest. I mean, Marion was much more. Marion could get up and down and may have been a little stronger, but upper body. But this guy Kuminga he's a glider. He's an incredible athlete. I mean, yeah. He's not the same player, but he does a lot of the same things as Dominique. I mean, he's 6'8", legit 6'8", like maybe even closer to 6'9", and he plays bigger than that, and he can shoot when he shoots the ball from 3. At time when it goes, I mean, it looks pretty good. Like if he just got reps, like he might be able to, really up his percentage. And then he's got all the Dominique power, your reverse jams. I mean, Dominique had a little bit more ferocity to his personality, I think, and wanted to put on a show, where Kuminga doesn't even realize that he could put on a show. You know what I mean? He's so young that I don't even think he really realizes that he's like the best athlete in a group of incredible athletes.
Yeah.
Well, when you look at that draft, 21 draft, there was no consensus number 1 early on. In fact, Kuminga was being discussed as a possible number 1 pick. But when we look back at 15 years from now, we're going to say the 2021 may be one of the best drafts ever. Listen to this draft. Cade Cunningham 1, Jalen Green 2, Evan Mobley 3, Scotty Barnes 4, Jalen Suggs 5, Josh Giddey, he's a solid player, 6, Jonathan Kuminga 7, and Franz Wagner 8, and Davion Mitchell 9, and then Zaire Williams 10. I mean, those top 10 guys right
Who's
there.
11? Who's 12?
11 is.
Just keep going. It's only a 60 pick draft.
I was just saying in the top 10 because it kind of stops there where it really. But all 10 of those guys have a chance.
Who's the first bust on the
first bust of those 10?
Oh, no, of who's like beyond those 10? Is there anybody who's just like, oh my God, look at that pick?
Say Suggs, Jalen
Well,
Suggs.
Joshua Primo, isn't he the one that the Spurs took that's kind of
gone? The year before.
He's gone. He's got problems off the floor.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He may be like a bust. Because
I love Jordan Suggs, Jalen Suggs.
You do? You love him?
Yeah, I do. Because I think that he's in the wrong organization. And I would say it wouldn't surprise me if he got traded. Because I think a lot of people look at him and says that, yeah, he came in, he was overwhelmed. He maybe wasn't ready for prime time, but his package is legit. And I think with excellent coaching, he will prosper. Or he can just kind of linger around in Orlando, where they have a lot of comparable players. But if I could get Jalen Suggs on the cheap, I would grab him in a second. I really like him.
I do too. I mean, I liked him a lot in college. Can
I just add real quick too? Like Kuminga's shot, like when to the I guess the uncoached eye or whatever, like it looks kind of awkward. But Kuminga's shot, his form is actually beautiful. When you see it, when you actually examine it and study it, his form is borderline perfect. He's actually a great I think he's going to be a great 3-point shooter. His first 2 years is at 33%. Good, not great. That's like the Mendoza line, right? Because 33% 3-point shooting is the equivalent of 50% too. So that's where you want him to be. But it looks good. I think it's just going to get better and better. And Red, I know you want to jump in. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
No. The only thing I just want to add to your point, he shoots from his chest. What he needs to do is add the trajectory of his shot. Get it head level or slightly above his head, and he's going to get that recoil.
You're talking about his starting motion?
Yeah, he shoots from his chest.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all I'm going to say. Because he has good touch. He does.
Here's GTC Reels, who's been with us for a long time. He says Moody has no opportunity, and we don't know why.
Yeah, that annoys me too.
What's going on there?
It's just.
What do you mean you don't know? You're locked on. Locked on.
Well, because Kerr, every time Kerr gets asked this question, he gives a different answer. He'll sit there and praise Moody, but then, I like to judge people based on their actions. And when it comes to Steve Kerr, all you see from Moses Moody are DNPs. I don't even know why they brought him back from Santa Cruz. I don't understand what the point was because he was doing fine there. I don't get it. I know, Red, you love Ty Jerome. I've come around. He belongs on the team, but I just don't think Ty Jerome should be getting 18 minutes and Moody should be getting a DNP. That's the one thing about tonight.
Ty Jerome had 6 assists and 0 turnovers tonight.
Yeah,
if it's not for Ty Jerome, they might not win that game tonight if they don't have Ty Jerome.
Yeah, I'll tell you this about Ty Jerome. I think if the Warriors don't do anything to add anyone at the trade deadline and quite possibly the buyout market, a guy like Ty Jerome going into the playoffs is a guy that's been there in the NC2A championship with Virginia. He knows how to play the game. He's a good ball handler, good facilitator. As Red said, he doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't make dumb mistakes. I mean,
depends on the night.
The guy
that's the night, man.
Yeah, the guy that's really baffling to me on this team is Jordan Poole, because you don't know what you're getting from night to night.
Well, what happened tonight? How would you guys describe his night? 27 minutes, 1 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3.
It was terrible.
3 rebounds, 1 assist. He's not making anybody better. He's not shooting well. He had 4 turnovers. He was -4.
And that's where some of those Moody minutes should have came from. When Jordan Poole's off and he's struggling, sit him down. Give Moses a 5-minute stint and see how he's doing. That's the one. Jordan Poole has been Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
But Baller, this is again like the bigger picture is this is the indictment of Kerr, because Jordan Poole's been starting like 10 plus games now. He's clearly with the small ball lineup. Kerr's gone to the small ball starting lineup where Poole's in it while everyone's healthy because Wiggins was out for a long time. That gave Poole room. He didn't start tonight. Kerr went back to the traditional starting lineup. And for some reason, I don't get it. I don't know what it is. I mean, even Kerr was asked about this, and he thinks it's because when Poole plays alongside Steph, he has a lot more freedom, a lot more space on the floor. But Poole, coming off the bench, is just not the same guy. He is not worth $120-something million. He's going to start getting paid next year. He's still on his rookie deal right now. So this is where, I've been saying all season long, man, like Kerr needs to mix and match the veterans and the youngsters. Like, you can't go with the starting 5 that is just borderline unstoppable. The best starting 5 or the best 5-man unit in the NBA is what Kerr started with tonight. But you're leaving yourself open and vulnerable with this bench. I think they need to mix and match, man, because Poole has to start. And this is where I thought it would be good for Clay to come off the bench. Look, he can finish the games, play the Manu Ginobili role. But what good is this? I mean, Dante DiVincenzo closed the game tonight for very good reason. No one's arguing against that. So that's my opinion on it.
The flip side of that, though, is to have Poole play better. You know, I mean, I like him in the starting lineup because, yeah, he kind of has more confidence. But I like the traditional lineup also. I want to see him come off the bench and play to his full potential. That's on him. That's not on the coach. That's his teammates have done everything. They've been great leaders. Yo, man, it's not a talent issue. It's a mental issue. And I want to see him step up because I don't think they can win a championship without him playing very well.
But he is getting better. Like Jordan Poole, year after year, is improving. Like his stats this year, except for 3-point shooting, that's taken a slight dip. But he's averaging over 20 points a game. I mean, he's producing. And compared to a year ago, he's better. Compared to 2 years ago, he's better. He's still only 23 years old. He's not going to turn 24 until June, until after the season ends. He's a very young player who's averaging 20.8 points per game. This is where I feel like coaching is failing this year, man. Like Poole is a talent, right? Utilize him the best you can. Don't put him in positions where he's going to struggle more. Just say, if this is on you, kid, you got to come through. Like there's got to be some flexibility, right? There's got to be something. Like Kerr's got to involve himself in this and maximize, the effort and the productivity out of everybody. I mean, I agree. Poole should play better off the bench, but that's just not happening right now. But Kerr, for some reason, I don't know, man. This season's just bummed me out with Kerr.
I don't like watching Poole. And they way overpaid him.
Yeah,
Way
they did.
Man,
5 years. They did.
Here we go. Is a question. Can the Warriors win without a trade? The trade deadline is coming up this week. Can the Warriors win without a trade?
Yes, I think they can. This team.
They can win a title.
They can win a title.
It'd be tough, but they can. Yeah, they don't have.
Jermichael Green needs to continue stepping it up because they do need a big. I mean, I'm looking at the Mavericks not even give JaVale McGee a single minute tonight, and I'm like, couldn't JaVale McGee kind of help out this team in a very, in limited minutes, just another rotational big. But I think they can win it without making a trade, as long as Kuminga keeps blossoming. Jermichael Green needs to be this veteran, steady presence down low. DiVincenzo needs to continue playing at this high level of play. I say yes.
They got Steph, so yes, they can win without making a trade.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And for me, it's not even so much that it's look, they have their veterans are still, I think, in good enough condition to pull off another title run. But for me, even what makes it more obvious is the opposition. I don't know why all these people tonight were saying Sedano and I saw Larry Beal saying this. They keep saying the Warriors are tied for fourth. They're not tied for fourth. They just have this. They're tied in the loss column with a bunch of other teams, but they're seventh in the standings. But I digress. The point is, the Western Conference sucks. We've never seen parity like this ever. At least not in my lifetime. So even if they're not as good as last year, which I think is a safe assumption or a safe thing to say, you look at the West and it's who's going to stop them? The Nuggets are probably the closest thing, and I don't think they scare me much when the Warriors are fully healthy. I don't know. So I say they can still win it.
Nuggets kind of spook me, man. Jokic is a tough matchup for Kevon Looney. I mean, last year, obviously, they had the playoff matchup, but the Nuggets were depleted. No Jamal Murray, no Michael Porter, and they still won a game and kind of kept a few games pretty tight, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah. The Nuggets are the team that kind of spooked me a little bit in the West.
Danny, Del Boca Vista?
Yeah. Can the Warriors win it? Absolutely. I mean, if the key thing is health, they've got 9-10 deep that they can go. You've got your starting five with Looney in the starting lineup. Then you got Poole, DiVincenzo, and Kuminga. There's 6, 7, and 8, whichever order. And then you got JaMychal Green, who I think is going to play a pivotal role. There's your 9th guy. And if you need to go to a 10th guy, they've got their choice between a few. But it's going to require health, because one slip up of any of those guys in the top 8 during the playoffs where they're not available, I think that's their margin of error.
I think they can win a title without a trade, but I don't think they're going to. I think they're stale. I think they need a shakeup. They need to do something. There's too much talent that's giving them nothing on the bench. That's not helping them. Moses Moody has too much talent to just sit there. James Wiseman has too much talent to sit there. Baldwin Jr. has too much talent to sit there. These guys are all sitting there.
Mhm.
It's like if this team if they want to win a title, they're not going to win a title with just, 3 guys on your roster just sitting there basically doing nothing that have a lot of potential. I think they either have to get something out of those guys or get something for those guys. Otherwise, I think the competition in the West will be too tough. I'm not saying that anybody out West is really scary, but they just won't. I don't know who it will be. It just won't be them. You know what I'm saying? It's like they haven't done it yet. They win one, they lose one. They win one, they lose one. Now I know they can flip the switch. We've all seen it before, but are they going to? I don't know. I personally think that they're not quite deep enough unless they can add one more rotation piece for one of these guys at the end of the bench. I'm not saying move Wiseman. I'm not saying move Moody, but I think they need a little bit more than what they got to win this thing.
Well,
I think they could probably win. They could get there with what they got, but they're not beating the team coming out of the East with what they got. I don't think so. Not this year.
Do you think they're going to stand still? Because I don't think they're going. I think they're going to trade Wiseman.
No, I think they're going to make a move.
I think they're trading Wiseman.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, they want to trade Wiseman, but they don't want to be laughed at based on what they get in return. Now, the one name that I'm looking at is Wendell Carter Jr. Now, I don't know if the math works and stuff like that, but he kind of has a ceiling. He's kind of like a Looney 2.0. I would love to have him. And from Orlando's perspective, Wiseman, we don't know what Wiseman's ceiling is. I think he would be good down there to just fine-tune their rebounding and shot blocking and do things that Wendell really can't do. But Wendell would be great for the Warriors if they could make that deal.
I'll tell you, you were saying before you like Suggs. I know it probably can't be done, but I'd love to see Suggs in a Warrior uniform.
Mm-hmm.
I think Suggs has got, on the Warriors would be a lot better than he is on Orlando. Orlando's got some nice pieces. I like Mo Bamba. But I like
Bol.
I mean, Franz Wagner. I mean, they got a ton of pieces. Jonathan Isaac. I mean, they got guys down there. So any deal with them might potentially look good. And aren't they trying to move Terrence Ross? Terrence Ross wouldn't be a bad addition either. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's played a lot, tough wing, two-way wing, right?
Yeah.
Ross would give them a little something. I just think they need a little bit more. I don't think they're going to be able to look down and say, "Oh, there's Moody doing nothing. There's Wiseman doing nothing. There's Baldwin Jr. doing nothing." And then you're just going to somehow, with those 3 guys, you got 3 roster spots, all about the future, and you're still going to win the title. You got it done last year, but that was last year.
And they had better veterans. They had veterans. I'm sorry, last year. They don't have veterans this year.
They got off to the 18-2 start last year, so they flashed, and then they smoked the Suns on Christmas. So then they flashed again. They had us believing this team really hasn't done that, and then they don't. And then that team also had the teeth of a GP2 defensive on-ball defender that they could just any round, Ja Morant, whatever. Here, take, go. You think you're rolling? Here, go against the best on-ball defender in the league. Let's see how you fare. And so you had that going on one end, and you got the offense on the other end. It was just too much last year for other teams. This year, they lost a lot when they didn't bring back GP2. And I don't know. There's also kind of a weird vibe about Golden State right now.
And
Otto Porter
and Damian Lee. Like Damian Lee,
great
was
a good rotation player.
Like, why did you give him up? That perplexes me the most. It's like why did you give Damian Lee up if you're just gonna play Anthony Lamb and instead? I don't get it. I don't understand.
I would have rather had Damian Lee than Anthony Lamb. I mean, it kind of shows. You know what's this year has shown that Golden State, for all the smart people and all the everything they got the awesome arena, they got the billionaire owner, they got the great GM, they got the phenomenal coach. When you win, everybody wants a piece of the pie. Everybody wants, everybody what's obvious about the Warriors is there's too many cooks in the kitchen, and that's why Bob's going to bail. I think I'm that's what it looks like to me from afar. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Lacup's got his board, his kids trying to ascend. You got a lot of loud voices. You used to have Jerry West. You don't have Jerry West anymore, but still now you got a lot of people trying to kind of make their way. And I just get the feeling that there's just a lot of things about this team that don't jive, like what you just said. If you're really going to play Anthony Lamb and Ty Jerome, then why did you get rid of Damian Lee? He was a guy who was ready to play, and he was like family. And literally, he was family to Steph. So it's like, I don't know. They make these decisions in a vacuum sometimes, and I think that they're at a point now where there's a weird vibe around them. I don't know if they'll make a trade because there's so many people that have a hand on the personnel. I doubt they can come to any kind of a consensus inside their own offices on a trade.
Well, I think the plan when they let Damian Lee go was they thought Moody would be, kind of equivalent at least to Damian Lee. And then when camp came, you notice that Lamb and Jerome came late. They were not originally part of the plan. Weatherspoon, I believe, was part of the plan. And then he didn't get signed because he wanted a guarantee. So then they went another direction, but they obviously felt like maybe that Moody wasn't as ready as they thought he would be because Damian Lee signed for the league minimum.
Yeah, I'm so proud of him. And I'm sure Steph is as well. That was a flat out mistake not bringing him back. He's having his best year of his career. And what's going to happen is he's going to get like a 3-year deal to solidify his financial security for his life. I am so proud of that guy because I'm sure he's motivated by the fact that a team, an organization that he gave everything to did not bring him back.
Yep.
For probably not a whole lot of money.
Yep.
So, yeah, like Larry said, these brilliant organizations have had so much success. It's a year-to-year proposition. They don't always get it right. And from Bob Myers' perspective, I hear you guys. I can think of several organizations right now that will just back the Brink truck up for this guy and say, come in and just fix us. So it's going to be interesting to see how this year plans out and what transpires next year.
Well, I'll take the opposing opinion on Damian Lee. I don't think he's moving the needle at all. I'm sorry. Last year in the playoffs, when Damian Lee was getting playoff minutes, I'm saying get him off the floor. That's just what I remember thinking. And to be honest, I'm not sure Anthony Lamb won't help this team more than Damian Lee. But I know I'm on the
you got to get to the playoffs, right? You got to get to the playoffs, though.
You got to get there.
And Anthony Lamb and Ty Jerome have to be offered guaranteed deals. There's still.
What is Andre Iguodala doing? Like that? I'm sorry. It never made sense to me to even bring him back. What did he do last year? He could barely get on the floor last year. So they're doing this Udonis Haslem type thing where he's a player coach. Like that makes no sense to me. There's one player. I don't know if we can cut Iguodala or what, but at this point, what is he doing? He's just taking up a roster spot.
He ain't going anywhere. What I'm saying? He's got the ring. Kerr's carved out this role. Kerr's got enough clout to get that
Make
done.
Him a coach. Make him a coach. He shouldn't be taking up a roster spot.
I agree, especially
I think they're playing the long game
team.
there. I do think you'll see Andre with some spot minutes down the stretch and in the playoffs because his leadership. I don't think they're going to overplay him because that hip doesn't obviously hold up enough for long. So. They were playing him. He looked okay when he played a few games, but then all of a sudden, he's hurting again. So I don't think they're going to get rid of him. And I think the plan is have his veteran leadership, his presence out on the court in the playoffs. And I don't think it's for long minutes. I think it's 5-6 minutes, just to give guys a spell and get him out there. That ain't worth
it. That's not worth it. That's not. Yeah, I'm not keeping a roster spot for 5-6 minutes for one. No, I want to. You've got to contend harder than that for an NBA title because other teams are going to as well. Digital Drew says Warriors have 4. Sorry, Dan, not to interrupt you there, but Warriors have 4 Trey Lances sitting on the bench. They have huge potential, but they need time. I forgot to mention this before, but thanks to everyone who helped us get to 13,000 subs today.
Wow.
13,000 subs. So thank you very much to everybody.
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
We went from 12 to 13 in like 3 days or something.
I feel like you went from 10 to 13 in like 3 days. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's just been an unbelievable. MF in the chat. That's a good question, Gabe Kapler. Thank you. Thanks, Gabe. That's an excellent question. Oh my God. I was driving around today trying to listen to the Fan Fest a little bit, and I'm getting the Giants are horrible. They're clearly worse than the Dodgers, clearly worse than the Padres, clearly worse than the Diamondbacks. I'm like the only person who happens to notice that, by the way. Everybody else is like, well, it's the Dodgers and the Padres, but we're right there. No, you ain't. And then the Rockies, I think, are probably better as well. We'll find out. But listening to the Fan Fest, there's no discussion about the team. It was all about the rules changes. I mean, whoa. I mean, when we're getting deep on rules changes and, in February, that means, man, it's going to be a long year it's going to be tough on some of these post-game shows. If, you've made all these moves, you've done whatever you've done to build your team, to get your fan base excited. And the first day is dominated by discussions of what if they throw a third pickoff move over to first, then what will, then there's going to be guys reading that. There's going to be, oh my God. I mean, I almost fell asleep at the wheel. Thank God I was driving listening to that.
Are you saying it's going to be a long year for FP Santangelo?
Oh my God. FP Santangelo deserves a Marconi at the end of this. I mean, oh my God. And anything, absolutely.
They said 12,000 people were there. The Giants estimated. I estimated by the looks I saw and the sound that I could hear about 3 to 5 max.
Yeah, I would say, hey, welcome back to the Fan Fest. You hear this.
Did you see the Padres Fan Fest? That was rocking.
Oh yeah, I mean,
they had people.
Giants need, the Giants would benefit greatly if PEDs return to the game.
Getting back to the Warriors with the trade. Yes. I was playing with the trade machine here because I was trying to see. Well, a lot's going to depend on what happens with Kyrie, because if Kyrie gets traded, there's a possibility that KD may say, I'm out. Get me out of here. And it depends on if they trade Kyrie at the deadline or a few days before the deadline. Right now, I'm hearing Lakers, Suns.
Kyrie to the Clippers is the story right now.
And Clippers. There's 3
Clippers
teams.
have joined the net, have joined the pursuit of Kyrie. It's the Lakers, Mavericks, and Suns.
Yeah,
have been talking, and now the Clippers, who are in the trade market for a point guard. Now, I'll tell you right now, if the Clippers can make a deal for Kyrie and they don't give up the farm, that's going to make them I think a very likely team to come out of the West. I mean, I'll be running to put some money down on the Clippers at that point.
So you're not considering Kyrie to be the blatant cancer that he is.
I'm not saying that he's not strange, but you're talking about a guy who goes for 27 a game.
He's toxic, man.
He kills what I mean? 27.
He might be able to handle it for a couple of months.
No,
Cyrus,
I don't think so.
He would be coached by Ty Lue. He won a title with Ty Lue.
I don't know, man.
Don't you think that matters?
He doesn't play defense. He's even Ty Lue. I could see Kyrie just tell him to go F off. Like he's the most. He's not a coachable guy. I think wherever he goes,
he won a championship. He's a coachable guy.
Let's say Kyrie gets traded.
He won a title.
I know that was like 8 years ago or 6 years. When was it? 7 years ago. It's a long time, man. Kyrie.
I don't like the fit with the Mavericks
stuff back then, man. That dude's changed as a human being.
Fit. The Suns, they might have to give up Chris Paul. That would be. Here's the thing: if Kyrie does get traded, what do you think of this? Because I ran the trade machine. You can't trade Wiggins or Poole right now because they signed extensions.
That's why.
So if you tried to get KD out of out of the Nets, I keep calling New Jersey, Brooklyn. You got to have Green in the deal, and you'd have and this works.
Hey, but
and I
Danny,
I tried to put
Jazz left New Orleans, by the way. Just letting you know.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Just for
Grizzlies left Vancouver.
Yeah, they've moved.
Yeah, I know.
The Kings, Phil Ford hung it up, and they're no longer in KC.
KC, that's right.
They're out of KC.
The
Are the
Clippers
Warriors
not
still in
San Diego
Philadelphia?
anymore.
Or did
Clippers are not in San Diego. Randy Smith is not there.
Oh man,
The
Rockets are not in
Warriors
San
are
Diego
no
anymore.
longer
They're
in
now in
Philly.
Houston.
they're no
Yeah,
longer in
just so you know.
Philly. Jeez.
Warriors aren't in Philly. You know.
The
Okay.
Sacramento Kings are not in KC anymore. So
Yeah, that's right. The KC Omaha
And
Kings.
they're not at
remember them?
Arco anymore either.
Yeah. So anyway, here's the deal. You can't. I tried to put Seth Curry in it, but it doesn't work. The numbers don't work. So just for KD, Draymond, Wiseman, Moody, and Rollins plus future ones would get it done.
Say it again.
Draymond, Wiseman, Moody, and Rollins. Would you? I mean, they're not going to. The Nets, but the Nets may not have a choice.
I don't want to trade Wiseman in that deal.
And
I'd
the
almost
Nets
rather,
are
I'd
gonna
rather
be-
trade Wiggins than
For
Wiseman.
KD, you wouldn't take. You wouldn't.
They'll get a
I'll
better.
do that.
They'll get a better offer, is what I'm trying to say, than that from other
I'll do that.
teams.
Yeah, the Nets would be asking for Kuminga. There's no way they do that deal without Jonathan Kuminga. And actually, for the Warriors, I think that would make it a no. I'm all over Dan's first offer. Whatever it would Draymond,
Oh yeah, I do
Moody,
it.
Wiseman.
Heartbeat,
Oh,
yes.
easily.
What would
Yeah.
be
Easily
what
bring-
would be
the
the
defense
impact?
would be atrocious, though. I mean, the defense is already bad, and we got one of the best defenders in the world on the team in Draymond. So defensively, there's be a big question mark. But Kevin,
It would
Durant
take a
is-
ton to get KD. Is it worth it? Yes or no?
Depends on what you mean by ton.
It's
Like
going to take.
Kuminga,
We know
I
it.
don't.
I don't want to
He
give
He
up.
makes a lot of
Kuminga.
money. You'd have to move Green. You'd have to, which that might be a deal breaker for a lot of people right there. You're going to have to move Wiggins.
No, Wiggins can't go.
You can't move him.
Can't move him. He can't be traded this year.
He has a.
He
some
can't be
weird-
traded till April, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
It's the same as
Well,
like
him and
LeBron's-
Ben Simmons have that weird extension off the rookie deal. They can't be on the same.
That too.
Something-
Yes.
You,
something
you
that
can't
way.
trade Poole.
No, you can't trade Poole. He's a
You
poison
could,
pill,
but he's
they call
not
it.
worth anything yet. His salary's at 3 and change right now.
He'll
so
be
it's-
24 next year or
I
something.
never
Yeah.
want to trade Draymond Green. I mean, if they decide not to sign him, then okay. But Draymond is so important to the Warriors' success.
But for KD,
No, listen. If you go back to Draymond helped KD become a better KD.
True.
Draymond is awesome, man.
He
I mean,
is.
you.
Agreed, Red.
But he's
You
the
can-
only tool you have to get KD because
No,
you
but
don't
we
have
don't want him
anything else.
in. We don't want him. We got to trade Draymond.
Yeah, it's not happening. Yeah, it's just not happening. There's no
Not
way KD's
happening.
coming this year.
it's not happening.
But I've heard.
But how good are the
only-
Clippers if they get Kyrie?
I still don't think their
Good.
title. They're not going to win it. I don't think Kyrie's
Really?
blatantly over. Dude, Kyrie's so toxic. He's a team killer, man. He got his one chip. Good for you. All he's done since then is just kill every team he's been on. I would never trade for him, man.
Look-
That dude is crazy. Hell no.
I think he would be kept in line there with Paul George and
I agree with you,
Kawhi
Dan.
and Ty Lue. He'd be kept in line for 2 months,
Oh, you're
3
smoking
months.
Crack. No, strongly disagree with that. I do.
What?
wanna say
Yeah.
this,
What
though.
have the Clippers ever done?
Well, that too. But I will say this: that there is the one plausibility for KD coming to the Warriors is if you make it a 3-team trade. I did read. I forgot who wrote it. I did read a piece where if you made it a 3-team deal,
I'll be right
then
back.
suddenly you might and like some team out there desperately wants Draymond, right? Now you might be talking. Now there might be a deal in the works, but I don't know. And Brett, I agree with you, man. If you trade Draymond for KD, it's like you're probably not winning a title anyway. So
Hey,
I'd
guys!
rather
By the
trade
way,
Jordan
guys,
Poole.
by the way, now that Dan has walked away, I think it's pretty clear that Dan's got a really bad coke problem because he never can finish these streams. He's always got to go, and then he comes back and he knows he's sniffling, and he's always,
hey man,
hey Dan, how's it going?
you got to perform somehow, right?
Good, good.
You seem really up. You seem really up tonight.
Well, I didn't want Rye to feel really out of place tonight, so I got to get my sport coat.
Oh, you're. wait. By the way, are you guys? Does anybody have the St. Mary's Gonzaga game on? Because this is awesome.
Yeah, I do. I'm watching it right here.
Dude, how about my
St.
boy,
Mary's
Aiden
is hanging.
Mahaney, Camp Lindo.
It's for you, Rye.
It's literally like a sports movie. The guy's going to be the best player in St. Mary's history.
Best player in St. Mary's history? Patty Mills?
Yeah, I tweeted it before the year. He's going to be. He's going to stay
better
all 4
than Patty
years.
Mills?
Think about this. He lost one game his last 3 years at Camp Lindo, just a bunch of white boys, nobody bigger than like 6'5". And he played with Bennett's 2 kids, so like he knows the whole system. He's already their leading scorer, and like they're about to take down Gonzaga. I mean, I don't know.
How much time left in that game?
3 minutes left, 57-57.
What's it? What channel's that on?
Yeah, what network?
ESPN. Main
I'll
ESPN.
turn it on right now. You feel better, Ryan, now that I got dressed up for you?
Oh, I am. But you know,
how's that look?
ESPN or St. Mary's right now is like they're number 6 in the country in Ken Palm. They're 7 in like all the advanced things.
They actually lost to Houston by like 2 points or 3 points.
Yeah, I think it was like 4 or 5 points.
Yeah, no. I mean, St. Mary's is a solid program. And
Randy Bennett's a great coach.
He really is.
When Mahaney
it's 59-57 Zags, 144 left. My kid's losing his my nephew is losing his mind. He goes, it's tied now with 138 to play.
Yeah, that kid
Gonzaga
who just
ranked 12th in the country. St. Mary's ranked 18th.
You saw that layup? That's
With
my
the left.
boy, Aiden Mahaney, Camp
Really?
Lindo product. Yeah. Dude,
Look
they
at
lost
Campo
the
producing
open
players.
division. They lost the open division California State Championship by 2 points.
I'm just
He had,
proud
like,
that
Gordon
kid made
Hayward
it off
type
the
food.
mean streets of Moraga.
Hey, Ryan.
Seriously, there's a
Campo-
TJ Maxx out there. There's a TJ Maxx out there.
Offensive foul, 59-59.
And a Nations. I think there's a Nations.
There's a
Drew
Nations
Timmy's
out
got to
there.
be about
There is a
30
Nations.
years old by
I
now.
think.
Yeah,
Ryan
Timmy
Campbell's
is-
had a solid program though, throughout the years. They teach
No, it's pretty-
great
they have.
basketball over there.
They do.
Big time.
You know,
They
what
do.
that league? That whole league is really good.
Timmy's in his
The
ninth
D
season.
foul. Timmy, how
Timmy-
about this? Timmy
Timmy's
has
going-
1 more year of eligibility. How
Oh,
insane
no.
is that? Yes.
Stetson
No, he
Bennett too,
doesn't.
both of them.
Yes, he has 1
Does
more.
he really?
Because of
How could that
COVID.
possibly be? He's like,
I know.
He's like 28.
he's going to buy a house in Spokane.
Hey,
Like,
honestly, I
Jaguayo
think he could
says
be a
Dubs are
sneaky fit with the
consistently
Warriors.
inconsistent, no D, no title. Sherpagny says as much as people hate it, PEDs save baseball. A little random, but yeah.
They
Few
also
minutes
say
ago.
Dan.
What's that?
I said they also
GTC
say Dan.
Reels.
Just,
And
it's a-
Dan, Moses
inside
Ark is not where you remember it in the Red Sea. You can't trade Draymond at all. His defense is just elite. GTC Reels, ladies and gentlemen. MF says Clippers are opening their new arena near SoFi soon.
Is that
They
next
need-
year?
Let me say this
No,
one
they
thing
got
also.
a couple more years, don't
Yeah,
they?
that's what I thought.
I think Bowman is a factor, man. I think he would actually get involved if Kyrie went to LA.
St. Mary's just beat. No, that was.
No, you're looking at highlights.
That
there.
was that was Mahaney's
59-59.
game winner versus BYU.
Okay.
Yeah. Boy, Gonzaga barely beat USF the other day.
I know they're wounded. They had
Why
a
do you
streak
know
where-
this? What the hell?
because
is going
I'm
on?
locked on. I'm
locked
locked
on St. Mary's.
WCC.
Yes, not everybody's locked on Warriors side. Some
I didn't
people
even
have
go to
other
St.
interests.
Mary's.
Like MF here in the chat says,
Hey,
who will get
St.
fired
Mary's,
first,
that-
Farhan or Gabe? Danny?
Ooh.
I got a theory here. You want to hear my theory?
Not
Hunter
really.
I think
Pence-
Kyle Shanahan should
Listen
get
to this.
fired
Hunter
for Steph
Pence
Curry
is
getting
coming
injured
to
tonight.
coach at. He's going to help out in spring training with the Giants.
Right.
I think it might be a move either by Farhan or someone above Farhan that says, "Okay, you're here all spring training with the whole team. Guys get used to you. If the Giants get off to a horrible start, and by late May they're just like, really struggling, I could see Farhan saying, I gotta save my job. I gotta get Hunter Pence in here to manage. Just that's my
Really?
prediction.
Your prediction? No, you're just screwing around.
No, I'm
you really
saying
think that Farhan's going to fire his guy Gabe, and hire Hunter Pence?
if the Giants are like 25 and 45 after, let's see how many games they play by 60 by the end of May. So let's say they're 20 and 40, something like that, 22 and 38. They're going to have to make a move. And I don't know who it would be, but Will Clark's going to be in camp too. So maybe the Giants to have something. What are the Giants going to do if they're 20 and 40 at the end of May? They got to do something. And it's got to be a promo move because people that place is going to be no one's going to be at Oracle. So that's just my.
Baseball's a great game. Giant fans show up, man. They showed up at Candlestick.
They don't show up on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights. They don't show up.
They had 2 million fans a year. They're gonna have 2 million.
Well,
Dan, actually, I'm thinking that
3 million.
Yes.
If I'm just reading the tea leaves, I think that Trevor Bauer is the next Giants coach.
Oh yeah, there you go.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about Trevor Bauer? I'm not a diehard Giant fan. I like him, but I mean, do you guys think that somebody's going to pick that guy up?
No, because the press conference is so awkward.
Okay,
I think a team that is.
He's got a lot of talent.
I don't think he starts off the season anywhere, but he may pitch in some independent league this year, and some team may pick him up at after the break or something and just say, hey, you know what? We want to win the championship.
I could see the Yankees just grabbing him tail mid-season move.
Someone like the Yankees, Mets, or
Paul Pearman says Farhan's going to coach. What if Farhan put himself as the manager?
Oh,
I would do anything to see Farhan.
That guy never played an inning of baseball in his life.
I would love to see Farhan in the uniform every day. That would be awesome.
You guys want some play-by-play here? 49 seconds left.
Yeah, Danny, go. Hey, wait, let's get Danny in the main screen here.
All right, I got to turn my head, though, because I got to watch the game here. Okay.
Dan Coach Amelia, ladies and gentlemen, doing play-by-play.
Gonzaga with the ball, crossing over the half-court line. 42 seconds left. Dribbling between the circles. I don't know the Gonzaga players or the St. Mary's. So
curly-haired guy.
Floater in. 61-59. 31 seconds to go. St. Mary's got the ball. Crosses over the half-court line. He's dribbling between the circles.
Some of the most shooter-friendliest rims.
Hits it out to the wing. Oh, he's got it left side.
Guy who can't shoot at all calls a timeout.
St. Mary's calls a timeout with 19 seconds left. Are they going to go for the win or the tie?
So this Randy Bennett does not look nervous, ladies and gentlemen. Randy Bennett does not look nervous.
I got my sport coat on.
They just changed the name of they changed the name of the uniform to something hilarious. It's like UC, that old joke that's like spell I cup that you'd like in like first grade. It's like ICUP. I think that their uniform. I think the new name of the arena is UCUP Arena. I think it's UCUP. I think it's United. I forget.
By the way, in this game, Drew Timmy leads all scorers with 20. He's got 20. He's made 8 of 12 from the field.
I think at home you play for the tie.
Basketball, Larry. I got to shout out St. Ignatius graduate Darion Trammell. I played with this kid. I was playing in an adult league, and I'm like, who's this little kid playing with us, right? He was in 8th grade. Right. Turns out he played 4 years varsity at SI. I believe he played at University of Seattle. Now he transferred to San Diego State. He's an Aztec. So, Larry,
they got a good team.
Darion Trammell.
The tax.
Go Cats, get him Cats.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. I think you I think you go for the tie at home.
17, 16. Danny, take over, Dan.
Okay, he's got the ball, top of the circle there. He dribbles to the left. He's being guarded closely. 1-on-1, he drives. He's guarded. He's no one playing. Goes inside, layup, good. 61 off, 5.5 seconds to go. Gonzaga's got no timeouts left. They're going to dribble the court. He shoots up from 25 feet. No good. Sure, we got overtime.
OT.
No, he made the last shot.
Too late.
Let's go. Oh,
wow. See? Yeah, you go for the tie at home.
Sweaty.
Did he make it or no?
Yeah, he tied it up. 61.
All I got to say.
And Dan, that wasn't bad, actually.
If Tim Roy is watching this,
he's safe.
He's feeling good.
He's like,
I'm
really
good.
good.
Honey,
he's good.
Yes, let's put the down payment on the place in Maui. Yes, I heard the competition.
It's no good in and out rebound. Draymond gives it over to Curry. Curry slows it down, crosses over the half court line. He's going to drive to the hoop again. He kicks it out to Wiggins. Wiggins drives, goes in for a monster slam. Oh, no, they're calling it an offensive foul. No way.
Wait a second, honey. Wait a second. Forget that place in Maui. I just heard his other call. He's great. He's a comer.
It's really tough to call when you don't even know anybody out there except Timmy. I don't know a lot of the players.
How about numbers, Danny? There's numbers on these guys.
Well,
over to 14 in the corner.
Okay, 14 in the corner. Okay, that
14 in the corner.
So
little bunny, you got down low.
We got 5 minutes.
Describe where they are in the court. The elbow,
play by play,
free throw line, into the lane.
Close. Into the lane.
By the way, I don't know if any of you. Wait, you know how okay, Barstool, like they have their like Barstool Michigan, Barstool Ohio State. It's like they now apparently have a Barstool St. Mary's, and they had one of the worst tweets I've ever seen in my life earlier today. It was like clearly done by some guy who managed to become like the Barstool St. Mary's guy. Horrible humor. He was just like, it had no class at all. It was like Gonzaga's taking the bus to the game today. Good thing, because Mark Few has a DUI. And just it got like two likes, and everyone was just roasting it. It got majorly ratioed.
Oh man,
not good at all.
Not good. Not good.
You know what I need me right now?
What are you gonna eat, Danny?
I need a pig and a pickle, but I'm not close enough. Doggone it. Give me a pig and a pickle.
Go get
a pig inside a pickle.
Chicken wings cooked.
We just ate them all last night.
What is it?
All gone. I would make some right now.
Now what's your boy's name, Ryan?
Aiden Mahaney.
Mahaney, yeah, he's supposed to be really good.
Let's see what Mahaney's got. Mahaney's 7 of 17. He's their leading scorer, 15 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist.
Oh, is he the guard? Is he the point guard, right?
Yeah, he was 1 of 11 in the first half, though.
Yeah. Okay, so he's the
6'3", 180 out of Lafayette, California.
Yeah, he's a 4-star recruit. He actually is a good player.
Aiden Mahaney.
Yeah, like he would not have gone to St. Mary's if not for Bennett's kids being.
I think it was because of you, Rye. Because he knew you were on the Krug show and you were from Lafayette.
What are the chances that Aiden Mahaney's ever been in a fight in his life?
Anytime you play basketball,
maybe somebody pushed him at TJ Maxx. Somebody cut him in line at Nations.
Oh, he's kind of a small guy, huh? I mean, skinny.
At Home Goods.
You got to fight your way off the streets of Moraga. Hey, one NFL rumor that's kind of interesting. I don't know if you guys saw this one. Jeremy Fowler is reporting that 2 teams have emerged as candidates to sign Jimmy Garoppolo. Those teams are the Houston Texans and the Atlanta Falcons. What do you guys think?
Oh, wow.
I can see the Jets getting in there, too. I could see the Jets sneaking in there. I think they'll be talking to him. I think the Jets definitely want a QB, but they may want Rodgers. It's going to be a lot like last year, maybe even more. I mean, you remember how many quarterbacks changed hands last year, and then, the Niners were kind of left stuck with Jimmy G because everybody filled their spots. This year, my goodness, if you look at the teams, there's probably 10 teams that want new quarterbacks.
Yeah, if I was D'Amico, I would want to go the veteran route. Jimmy Garoppolo, that makes sense because anytime you draft a guy, I know the Texans have the first pick of the draft. Bryce Young has kind of been penciled in there. But anytime you're a new head coach.
Chicago has the first pick. Chicago has the first pick.
Excuse me.
Yeah, Chicago Bears. But the Bears have already stated, though, they're not going with the quarterback and they're shopping it.
Yeah.
Well, listen to these teams, and we go down them real quick. Who needs a quarterback? Buffalo, no. Miami, I think, is going to maybe look. New England, I think, may look.
No.
Indianapolis.
I'm going down by the standings. Just the Jets.
Roll through it. I'll write it down. Go ahead, Danny.
Baltimore may be looking for a quarterback.
Why would Baltimore need one? They got.
Well, if they don't franchise tag him, or if he leaves.
What are you kidding me? They have Pro Bowler Tyler
Huntley. That's right.
Pro Bowler.
Okay. Pittsburgh, no, they're okay with Cleveland has got Watson. Okay. Jacksonville, no. Tennessee.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Tennessee. For the rubdown.
You think Tennessee's going to stay with Tannehill or go for another quarterback?
No, I think Tennessee may trade for Lance.
Flop by Timmy.
I think David Carr.
Indiana needs a quarterback. Or Indianapolis, I mean.
Indianapolis, yep.
Yeah,
Bobby Knight.
Houston needs a quarterback. The
Houston,
Raiders
they say wants Jimmy.
The Raiders need a quarterback.
I think Houston
they want
Trey
Roger.
Lance.
Yeah. Washington needs a quarterback. Giants may, depending on what Jones does.
Probably not.
He's going nowhere.
Green Bay's probably if Rodgers leaves.
Green Bay's got Jordan.
They got
Love.
Jordan Love.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll probably
Love
stick
pick,
with them.
That was I've been on record
Tampa
saying
Bay.
that was the worst pick that I've ever seen. You got Aaron Rodgers under contract on a multi-year deal at the time, right?
Yep.
And they go and they spend a first-round pick on Jordan Love, who hasn't even sniffed the field. I mean, that was just an egregious error by Gutekunst. That guy should have been fired on the spot.
And they pissed off their franchise quarterback while he was still in the building.
Stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, that was stupid.
He did. He got him pretty fired up, though.
Okay, the whole NFC South, all
so
4 teams.
Right now, you got Miami, Tennessee, Indianapolis, Houston, Las Vegas, Washington. Am I missing one?
No, that's it. And then all 4
Jets.
teams in the NFC South need a quarterback. Tampa Bay, Carolina, New Orleans, and Atlanta. So there's 4 more. And is Arizona, we don't know if – I think they may be looking because I don't know if Murray's going to be ready.
Really?
Oh,
what about Seattle? Is Seattle looking? I think Seattle may draft.
They're going to re-sign Smith, I think. I really think they're re-signing
Danny,
Geno Smith.
where's the play-by-play? Let's get. Can we? I'm
what
all
are we
in favor
down
of
to?
more Danny play-by-play.
St. Mary's up 68-64. What's your guy's name again? The guard?
Mahaney. You missed his
Mahaney.
three.
Mahaney. He's got the ball, dribbling top of the key. He throws it over inside. Slam! Oh, he didn't slam it, but he laid it in. He should have slammed it, but he didn't have any legs. Okay. St. Mary's is up.
Man, did he not have legs there? Oh my God! How did he not slam that?
St.
Mary's
has got phone booth vert.
St. Mary's up by 6, 7.
He's my dipsy two-time for Dandy, baby.
Didn't it look like he was going to slam it, Rye?
He's my dipsy
absolutely.
Dandy.
I still think Omar Sandman could have gotten some run in the league. That guy was a monster.
And there are hundreds of people about ready to go crazy.
Oh, your guy, Mahaney, hit a 3.
Yeah,
he's number 20, right? Number 20? Oh, that guy has no hop. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
You've heard of IHOP?
He's like a 7-footer who would have gotten hung on the ring, hung on the rim.
You heard of IHOP?
It's
how about no hop?
70-64 St. Mary's with 2:32 left in overtime, ladies and gentlemen. The number 12 Zags in danger of going down on this Saturday night. Dan Cochimilio on the call.
That's right.
And I'm just his color man trying to give him a chance to get a drink of water.
I already told you guys the one bet I made in Las Vegas just for fun, because I was like, there's nobody is too much of a long shot like that I actually believe in for it to be fun. I wasn't going to put a future on the Giants. I wasn't going to put a future on the Niners or the Warriors. I put a future on St. Mary's Gales, baby.
You don't believe in the 2023 San Francisco Giants? Why?
Larry, by the way, I found that number that you put out, the 86.5. I found that.
Fraudulent,
it was like the first thing that the first thing that came up. But how could that be true? How could that possibly be true?
No, it's not. I screwed it up. I mean, that was
no.
legitimately.
I saw the same thing. It was Vegas Insider. It
Vegas
was like the first
Insider,
thing that came up.
But it was actually it's actually
no way.
one, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Danny, what do you got there?
Oh my God!
3 Musketeers.
That's the worst candy bar out there.
Danny, we did a draft. We had candy. We just did a candy draft, Danny. That didn't go in any round, and you're.
I know my wife grabbed it though. My wife grabbed it. So, I got a Kit Kat last night that was birthday cake.
Oh wow!
That was what?
Birthday cake flavor. Kit Kat. You know what it tasted like?
Pretty good.
Those Mother's cookies, those pink and white ones. You know.
Yeah.
Tastes exactly like that. I think I'll go buy a bag of those cookies. You get more for your more bang for your buck.
Danny, there's 2 minutes and 14 seconds left.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen.
We got this one. Eric Hernandez says Krug show has 13,000 subs. Good job. Anyone show up at FanFest?
Hey, I talked to Marty Lurie today. I talked to Marty Lurie today on the.
I heard you.
Did you? You hear me plug the show?
Did you embrace the date?
I heard him plug the show.
Well, yeah. I said I'm on with, I'm not going to say, hey, we're the best,
You should.
Yeah. Hey, I'm on with.
He said we did a good job. Hey, you know who else was on the show today? On
Eric from Eric
Beal. Eric from Beal. Yeah, Eric.
Carlo P. No, Romo.
Yeah. Okay, Gonzaga's got the ball. 71-64. St. Mary's leads. There is 2 minutes and 5 seconds left.
I'm not gonna lie, I did.
Number 45 has the ball. He's between the circles, passes it over to I don't know who. I don't know who bobbles. I don't know who throws it over to. Oh,
Timmy's got the ball.
Good Red. Red's like, who the heck is he?
Who the hell is this? It's the worst play-by-play of all time. Dan Cochimelio, ladies and gentlemen, continue with your terrible play-by-play.
Who's on first? I don't know. What's on second? What? Okay. That was poked away, so they got 71-64. St. Mary's seems to be in control of this game with 1:58 left. But someone's fouled out. Okay, number 11 looks like.
By the way, has everyone here been to a St. Mary's game? It's pretty awesome. It feels like you're at a high school game. Like you're just on top of the floor. It's loud, even though there's only like 3,000 people.
My brother might even be there tonight. I'm going to text him and see.
I remember Lou Campanelli used to always be courtside.
Mark Graves is saying, how many colors is Cy seeing right now?
Normal.
Cy, have you moved outside?
I'm just.
Did I what?
Outside?
No. This is just my new place. I moved my green jeans, man. I'm a total
You have
hippie now.
siding inside your house.
Okay, we got St. Mary's with the ball.
Yeah, well, okay, so this is like a
Mahaney dribbling left hand, just killing the clock. 12 seconds left to go on the shot timer. 1:35 to go in the game. He's between the circles. He's going to take the ball. Is he going to take it all the way? 3-point shot from Mahaney. No good. Back iron rebound. Timmy throws it up over to 11. He crosses half court. He's
Timmy throws it to the guy who's left of Timmy.
Timmy has the ball. He passes out 3-pointer from 11. Good. And it's 71-67 with 1:11 to go. Mahaney,
by the way,
dribbles between the legs, crosses over the half-court line. He's dribbling between the circles, killing the play clock here with 15 seconds to go in the play clock, 57 to go in the game. He's double-teamed. He gets it over into the corner to number so-and-so. I don't know who it is. Dribbles behind the back. He loses the ball. Stolen by Gonzaga. Gonzaga on a 3-on-2 break. He goes in for the layup. Reverse layup foul. No, he didn't call the foul. Rebound. St. Mary's. He blew the layup, but he was hacked. How did they not call that?
I thought that was a foul.
It was absolutely.
How was he not? He was killed.
There's an injury on the play, ladies and gentlemen. An injury on the play.
Oh, my goodness. He went in for a reverse layup, and they just clobbered him.
By the way, how about me just being at my girlfriend's law school ball pregame, and I'm just completely ignoring her?
How's that going to go for you later? I mean,
I don't know.
If she watches the show, hey, watch at the 1:23 mark. Rye rips you.
Yeah.
Hey, is Drew Timmy an NBA player?
He'll make it. He'll make it. He won't be a star.
Heavens no.
I think so.
Sandman couldn't make it. Timmy can't make it.
Baller,
I think he makes a roster. I'm
trying to think who was the productive player. He overachieved. We just played him on the
productive
Timberwolves.
Player of the year.
Watch this. Let's see if he fouls
from
him.
Gonzaga?
The replay.
The big guy. No, I'm blanking on a big man from the Timberwolves. I want to say he played at Iowa. He was a really good college player.
You're talking about
Garza?
Garza. I was
Garza.
blanking on Garza.
He just
Garza
played the other night
has an
against the
NBA
Warriors,
career.
didn't he?
I could see a Timmy.
Yeah, Timmy
kind of being a end of the bench guy like that.
I think Timmy will grab some pine meat, baby.
He's not as big as Luka Garza, but I think he's got a lot better moves.
Okay,
well, Gonzaga fouls him in the backcourt, so it's 71-67 St. Mary's. Gonzaga started to foul with 40 seconds left. Danny, I can't be picking this up for you.
I was just about ready to take it, but we didn't need two announcers.
Now they're fighting in the booth, ladies and gentlemen.
It's
my turn.
40.5 seconds. Larry called it 40. Let's be precise. I'm Mr. Precise here. 40 points. Okay. He puts up the first free throw and nothing but net. Well, he got a little bit higher, but it's good. All right, 72-67. Timmy comes back. Looks like he was out, but he's
Dan's doing the play-by-play.
Who is this guy right here? Okay, the bearded one. That's an interesting beard, actually. Okay, dead swish. Okay, 73-67. Gonzaga needs a couple of threes because there's only 37 seconds left to go, but he's driving all the way. It looks like a travel, and they didn't get it. Okay, St. Mary's has got the ball on a turnover. Mahaney, he crosses over. He throws it down the court. He's going in for a dunk, but he's taken away. Oh, nice play by Gonzaga guard to come in and knock the ball out of bounds. He was going up for an uncontested dunk, and the guy came from the free throw line. Huh? I don't know.
Uncontested monster slam?
Well, he was going up, and then the guy took off from close to the free throw line and ran over and knocked the ball out of bounds.
Well,
so
Danny's
26.6 seconds ago, St. Mary's taking the ball out underneath the basket, looking. He's going to have to call a timeout. He does.
Okay. Digital Drew on the chat says, wife walked in, watched Dan for a second, then just stared at me and said, "You pay for this?"
Larry, you got to reveal this. How have the numbers of your show been during this whole bid?
What's that?
How have the numbers of your show been during this bid? Are we going up? Are we going down? Is it flatline?
Flatline.
I would say it's probably – we've probably lost some people during this bid. That would be my guess. Oh, wait a second. As we talk about losing people, now more people are joining.
Oh, there we go. Because it ended. Because the bid just ended, Larry. That's why.
Maybe your interruption. There you go.
There it is. Hey, tell me.
Got to keep Cy on center street.
Hey, let's do it. While we're in commercial break, tell us a little bit about Town Farms, Cy.
You mean V-Town Farms?
Yeah, Town Farms. Tell us about this break sponsored by Town Farms.
I wish they sponsored me. I mean, I don't want to. I can't. They don't deserve that much love. I'm not getting shit from them except what I pay regular price for.
Oh, okay, back to the play-by-play here. St. Mary's takes the ball out of bounds, looking. He throws it in. Ball is that looked like it was off St. Mary's to me, but it's going to stay with St. Mary's with 25.7 seconds left. So they threw it in, bounce pass. It got tipped and went out of bounds.
We just lost 3 people.
Yeah, St. Mary's is struggling to actually get the ball in bounds.
5.
I'll do play-by-play on the stream as Danny's doing the play-by-play on this.
Okay, we're down to okay. The chat is over.
All right, and we're down to 139. Okay, 138 in the chat, and all right.
Everyone hit thumbs up. We're up to 141. We're up to 141. It's because Dan's not talking.
141, 141. Okay, 142. Okay. All right. They show the crowd. Oh, look at the St. Mary. Oh, the announcers over there. Okay, St. Mary's taking it out.
We just lost 4 people. We're down to 137.
He gets it in, and he's hacked, and he's fouled. And this game,
we're losing chat numbers.
Oh, I'm going to stop. Can't lose chat numbers.
No, we're just joking.
Game's over.
No, we lost 2 more though. We just lost 2 more.
I think it's over. If he hits one of these, it becomes a 3-possession game.
All right, 73-67. St. Mary's on top of Gonzaga. 24.9. Pasty guy shooting, and he makes it.
Yeah. Oh,
this is our Saturday night.
What's he called? Pasty guy.
All right.
And now the guy who can't sit in center field at a baseball game takes his second free throw.
Possibly Australian takes it.
Is grace upon grace like a religious thing? What's the meaning there?
I don't know. St. Mary's.
Good. Okay, he made him
St.
both.
Mary's
Grace
basketball
grace,
team looks like a wrestling team.
Okay, he's going for a long three-pointer.
They look like they're wearing
he got it.
Uniforms.
He got the
he hit the 3. 75-70 St. Mary's.
He traveled, but they didn't call it.
Travel. Oh, look at St. Mary's.
Stolen. Mahaney steals it. They're carrying him. He's hacked.
That was a travel.
That was totally a travel.
You can't call that.
Ladies and gentlemen, they're going to be partying at Nations tonight in Moraga.
Yeah.
They will be burning down TJ Maxx.
They got a
will be cleared out before midnight.
The home goods will be on fire.
Yogurt Shack is staying open late in Lafayette.
Wait a second. It's just been announced that the Arco station on Moraga Way is going to keep their lights on past midnight.
Yep. They got a few stores there. They got some ice cream stand there. I got a friend who lives in Moraga, and her and her kids just we talk about that and make fun of it.
Game's over.
There's nothing going on. There's absolutely nothing going on.
There's going to be a crowd at Walgreens in downtown Orinda tonight.
Hey, who does Mahaney look like? He looks like somebody to me.
There's going to be a gathering at the Bevmo parking lot. Everybody get there right now.
In Orinda.
The
BART parking lot in Lafayette.
What's the best of interest here again? Did someone bet on this?
No.
Right. Hey, you guys want to know a bet that I had tonight that I totally messed up on? Well, I didn't mess up on it. What happened was I didn't know Looney was starting tonight,
right?
And that Wood was out for Dallas and all that. So Warriors never win the tip. But then I saw that who was in the Dallas. So I says, "Oh, first basket. I'm going to take Looney plus 900." I put it in. I put the bet in, and I went to hit done, and the game was just getting ready to start, and it flipped on me, and I couldn't get it. Who scored the first basket? Looney. Jeez.
So you timed out on a plus 900 bet, is what you're saying?
Yeah, because I didn't even think about it until like a minute before I saw that the tip off. Oh, I'm watching the game and I'm seeing like, oh, Looney's going to tip off, and I think he's going to win this tip, and I tried to get it in, and as soon as I had it 10. I was only going to bet $10, but I still would have won 90.
So,
hey, a couple quick thoughts on the NBA trade deadline. Not to interrupt that great story, but back to regularly scheduled programming.
Yes.
The couple rumors that I think are kind of interesting. One, I'm reading that the Jazz won a first-round pick for Mike Conley, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. The Warriors have, I've seen, been rumored to be interested in both Beasley and Vanderbilt. Does either one of those guys, would you trade a future number one for Malik Beasley or Jared Vanderbilt? And which do you guys prefer there?
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt's
in Vanderbilt.
high demand, man. A lot of people want him.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's a phenomenal player.
The Sixers and Pacers have also kicked tires on Vanderbilt. The other one that I think is kind of interesting, Josh Hart, who I think is a really good player. The Cavs are looking at him, but this is also available. Are also interesting. The Blazers are making Yusuf Nurkic available in trades. Does that surprise you? I mean, I think Nurkic is pretty good. Now I know he's once upon a time he was thought to be better than Jokic. Obviously, that's not the case, but I still like Nurkic.
He's just injury prone, man. If that guy ever put a whole season together, who knows? But he's so injury prone. He just signed an extension too. So what you are getting, I feel like he's perfect for like that Washington Wizards type team, like just a big contract on a team that's going nowhere, and he'll, 3 years later he'll be like, oh yeah, he's still in the NBA as he's finishing up his last $25 million, But the Warriors. So I want to do a shameless plug real quick. Rick Barry and I are doing a show tomorrow. And it's going to be at 3 p.m. So Rick Barry is like part owner of this new streaming app. It's called Mic'd Up.
Right.
And so we do our show live there. It's like we literally host it on our phones. And if you download the app, you can like submit questions, like verbal questions, and he answers all of them. It's really awesome. So we're doing that tomorrow at 3 o'clock. But one of the topics is like who the Warriors are targeting, who's actually been reported. Because there's been like 4 or 5 names that have been like directly linked, right? Like there's Jakob Poeltl, who the Spurs apparently don't want to, aren't interested in anybody in the Warriors for him, but the Warriors like him supposedly. Alex Caruso is a name that's been reported on at least twice now. So, I mean, these are actual journalists who, their credibility is on the line. They're not just publishing clickbait crap who's reporting this stuff. So Alex Caruso is a real name. Thibault was a very recent name that's come up. And then, so those are like the ones that have been directly linked. Does that excite anyone? Like, because realistically, it's going to cost Wiseman. It's going to cost Wiseman again.
Not for Thibault.
No,
I'm not doing. How many years has Caruso got after this signed? Is
at
he,
least one more than I think a player option, either a player option or team option.
I can't trade Wiseman for Caruso. I can't.
I mean, I'd hate to do that. I'm only trading Wiseman if I got a player that's signed at least through next year, and preferably for a couple more, because if you're going to trade Wiseman and then you got a guy that's a rental, no way.
I would only trade Wiseman for a big. I wouldn't
Yeah,
trade him for
they need a
anything other than
big.
a big.
You're right, Brad. If they go, they need a big.
Here's the deal that I would make. I haven't seen it rumored, but to me, I mean, I've heard the Warriors need size and the Warriors need shooting, right? But it's not necessarily, they don't have to be the same player. The deal that I think makes sense is trade Wise. If you're going to trade Wiseman, and even this is selling low on Wiseman in my view, but I think it's fair and I think it's reasonable. Trade him to Detroit. They've got a great core. They'll be happy to have him in 3 years, and get Nerlens Noel and Sadiq Bey. And then Nerlens Noel gives you a shot blocker big who's good, and he can play right now. And then you've got a little bit of a presence inside, a little bit more than you have now. And then Bey gives you a big time rotation player with guts, and he'll take and make big shots, and he'll play D, and he's got a high basketball IQ. He'll be good with you, and you'll be good with him. So if that's the deal I would make, and I would make it too. That's a deal I would propose, and I would do it, because the Warriors' timeline with Wiseman, he may be good, he may not be good, but it's not like his future for sure. The value's going up; it could go down. And at this point, I think I would, seeing where he is, everybody knows that there's a lot of unknowns, so you could still get something for him. And then this is a much safer route. And I really like Sadiq Bey. I think Sadiq Bey on the Warriors would be a tremendous player. One of their better players.
Yeah.
He's and if I got to move Moses Moody to make it happen as well, I would do it. But that's
Bey's
the deal
young.
that I like.
Sadiq Bey's young, so you're not really like losing youth by giving him Moody.
I like Sadiq Bey, and Noel is 6'11", and he'll block some shots. And
there is here's the thing. There's
That's not bad.
I'll tell you the other one I love. If I'm going to move Wiseman, I would move Wiseman to Houston. Houston obviously is all about the future. He's very much the future, and get that kid Sengun. I mean, you add a big man with the kind of skills that he has to what the Warriors have, they're gonna be quite a bit better. But just to sit Wiseman at the end of the bench, all for this, like the future, that's not putting your best foot forward for Steph Curry's chances to add to his Larry O'Brien trophy group. I mean, come on, do you want to win, or are you literally about filling your? I mean, you can't look the people in the face and say we're not about filling our arena over winning today if you keep Wiseman and Moody at the end of the bench just sitting there. You got to cash those chips in for something that can help you now and make the best deal you can make and get down the road. But don't just sit there with a depreciating asset, crossing your fingers that 3 years from now he's going to be special. I don't see special. All right, I don't see special. I don't know what you guys see, but I don't see special.
Let me ask you this, Larry: would you trade Baldwin? Would you put Baldwin in that trade instead?
No, I like Baldwin. I would play. I know,
but I'm just saying because the salaries match perfectly with.
No, I want to keep Baldwin, but I mean, for who? For Sengun?
No, for Bey and Noel, because the salaries actually match. Noel and Wiseman both make the same pretty much, and so does Baldwin and Bey.
Well,
I'd be willing to throw in Moses Moody.
Let me put in Moody.
Bey takes Moody's spot. You know what I mean?
But real quick,
Moody's
there's
really never playing if you got Bey.
Let me see if this trade works.
But there's one other player. There's one other player, like because it's fun to talk about this stuff, but. Like, I'm trying to stick to like the realistic targets, and a huge reason why, despite the fact that it seems to make logical sense for the Warriors to pursue a big because of need, right? They're a small team. I don't know if that's what they're going to do, because one other name I forgot to mention as well that was directly linked that the Warriors expressed interest in. There's two other names. I'm sorry. But one is Kevin Pritchard of the Boston Celtics.
Point guard?
Who's 6'2", 6'3". He's like a point guard who's a lethal 3-point shooter. Above average defender.
Who's this?
But the
Pritchard.
Warriors expressed interest in him.
Oh, I don't.
And so what that tells me is, like, even though like on paper it and when you're watching these games, it seems to make perfect sense for them to pursue a big, and that's what we all want. I don't know if that's what the Warriors want. Like, because Kevin Pritchard, I mean, that he's 6'2". I mean, so he brings more offense and so defense. And then there's, of course, Jay Crowder. The Warriors have also been linked to him, but I don't think that's realistic because I don't know why the Suns would ever make that deal. Like, you're not going to trade an important asset to a divisional rival. So those are the names, right? And you're not hearing centers mostly, right? It's like, again, it's what's his name? Alex Caruso of the Bulls.
Matisse Thybulle. Would you trade Moses Moody for Matisse Thybulle? Because that works.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he gives you better defense. And then if you need a big man, you have an open roster spot. You could do that in the buyout market or free agency.
I'm saying no. But I got one more name I think I like more than all the names that have been mentioned. And it's PJ Washington. Let's go to the Hornets.
I love him.
Make an offer for PJ Washington. He's that versatile forward who can shoot it. I want to say that Washington and Wiseman contractually kind of match up. And at this point,
I wouldn't do that.
You like that one, Red?
No, I wouldn't do that because PJ's a good player, but he leans offense. I mean, that's why Charlotte sucks. They have no defenders. And he would come to the Warriors wanting a new contract for $15 million a year, and he get killed on defense. He's a smallish power forward. He's about 6'7.5", 6'8". He's a good offensive player, but he's very much a role player. Charlotte wouldn't want it because they got Williams from Duke, a 6'7"
That's true.
center who I think is going to be successful. The reason why Wiseman is a tough trade is because they don't want to give up equal value. And the Warriors have a problem because they don't want to take back crap. So he is where he is. And the real issue is, why aren't they developing him?
Right.
Like tonight, he wasn't on national television because they don't want that to be the narrative. He comes in the game, they're up 20 points, and what happens? He catches an alley-oop dunk or two. All of a sudden, Mark Jones and Burke start talking about why the guy isn't playing, and then Steve has to answer questions after the game before a national audience. So this whole scenario with Wiseman, to me, just sucks because I've seen nothing that says that the guy can't play. I haven't seen it, man. It bothers me.
Yeah, he has not gotten run. I mean, there are people that feel like Trey Lance with the Niners hasn't gotten run. But, I mean, Trey has played a little bit before the injuries. Wiseman played his rookie year, and they let him just go. But since then, he doesn't play at all. I mean, I don't get it.
But he did, but when he got called back up from Santa Cruz, and the most blatant evidence was the Christmas Day game when they hosted the Grizzlies, and Wiseman played in that game. I actually have the stats in front of me right now. So Wiseman in that game played, it was only 8 minutes, but all he focused on was rebounding, defense, exactly what they actually want from him right now, right? And he was a +8 and a +-. He had no stats besides 5 rebounds in 8 minutes to show for it, and that's solid, man. 5 rebounds in 8 minutes, I'll take that.
I think they should be putting him back at the D League right now.
He should be playing. He should be playing plain and simple. But again, this is where we also have to, when we're having these discussions, be largely rooted in reality. And the reality is, this is Steve Kerr's team, and he doesn't like bigs. He doesn't like bigs. Like, he has a massive aversion. He's admitted to this loosely. Like, his logic for it is speed. He prefers the speed. He prefers the spacing that smaller players give him. And, he feels like this is basketball.
He loves Looney.
Yeah, but Looney some days barely plays, and even tonight, he'll play 20 minutes, 25. But Looney also, remember, was drafted as a small forward. So this is Steve Kerr turned Looney into his modern prototypical center.
One thing I don't like them going after a guard like Pritchard. I think they should go after they're going to go after a guard, make it somebody that's, got some size and can play defense, whether that be Thybulle or Caruso. And then you have that position, you have depth there, and then you still have Wiseman on the roster. And if you're not going to play him, you still got an open roster spot. Sign a free agent big or get somebody at the buyout market and have that extra big, because you can't go into the playoffs again with Looney alone. If they lost Looney,
but this might be the reality, Dan. This might be the reality. Again, it's one thing to actually express what you think they should do, which is, yes, get a big. And Amara's saying, kiss my ass, man. Like all these names you just mentioned in the chat for these Warriors bigs, like you mentioned, Bogut, Ezeli, David West.
He's in Australia.
Why don't you come to the modern time, the last 3 years, and name the bigs he plays now? He tried Wiseman in 2021, and for 2/3 of a season, or half a season, it was actually, half less, Wiseman was playing. Since then, there have been no bigs. We've seen Marquise Chris come in for like a moment. We saw the guy from Sacramento. Remember, he played in 2020. But dude, I can't remember his name. He went to Dallas.
Bielitsa.
But Bielitsa was 6'8", 6'9". That's what I'm saying.
Actually.
Like these
Well,
are.
I thought that's who you're talking about
from
from Sacramento. He had played in Sacramento.
No, the guy would no. This was back in like 2020. He's 7 feet 7'1". That was like one of the last bigs. He doesn't do that anymore. He's done with bigs. Like clearly Wiseman does not fit with what Kerr wants. It's clear. Like if that wasn't true,
Cauley Stein.
Cauley Stein.
Thank you. It was Cauley Stein. Yes. So it's just in the modern era, in the now, in the present, Kerr does not play bigs anymore. So
he played DeMarcus when he was here.
Amar Singh, how am I wrong, you douchebag? I just told you in the last 3 years all the centers he's played.
Don't go at my chat, man.
These people are like my family. Go after
my family.
Go after Cy. Somebody else go after Cy.
Hey, stay out of my chat.
Let me say this to Amar Singh. Okay, so
Amar, these names are from 5 years ago. Sorry, Red. I'm done.
No. I'm not gonna go at the guy, but my point is this. Listen, where does coaching come in? You say Wiseman has a low basketball IQ. The kid basically came out of high school. All right.
I'm not saying that.
No. This is what he said.
Yeah.
Singh said this, and I'm just like, well, how do you get players to rise their basketball IQ? Looney's IQ has increased exponentially since his tenure with the Warriors. So to put the weight simply on Wiseman and talk about his IQ.
And to be clear here, we're talking about basketball IQ, not
no. I'm talking about basketball IQ.
Yeah, I know.
And what I'm saying is that give the guy a chance.
Yes.
Kuminga's IQ, if you watched him play, we would draw a conclusion that it was low also. And guess what? Through practice, through playing, through buying in, the guy has ascended to look like a real prospect. We haven't had that opportunity to see that from Wiseman. So to label him as a low IQ player without having him benefit from all of the talent around him, Draymond Green, Steph, is just totally unfair.
Well, what I don't get, okay, this is what I don't get. The season started around Halloween. Mm-hmm. It's now February 4th. Everybody who knows anything about the NBA knows that the first half of an NBA regular season has very little importance, especially if your goal is to just be 500. Why are we sitting here in early February knowing the same amount about James Wiseman as we knew on opening night?
Yeah.
Progress the story, Steve. Keep the team moving, Steve. I love Steve. I think he's smart. But what you have to learn about your competition, but you also have to learn about your own players. You've got some really young players. What I was hoping to see was right anytime they got him healthy, let's say that was middle of November, whatever it was, put him out there for 25 games, give him a full run of minutes. I don't care if you win or lose. Let's develop the big man so that you got a shot with him, or if he doesn't fit, then move on. It's literally like having the girlfriend that you're just leaving at the house every night. Just come on, take her out on a date or let her go. You know, I mean, at this point, James Wiseman has value. Yes. He's got value to you and he's got value to other teams. And you're not doing best by James and his career to just sit him and let him wallow away on your bench. Make a GD decision. Either keep the guy and play him and develop him, or shop him. And you got a week to figure it out.
Got 5 days.
I think they are shopping him.
Does anybody disagree with me?
No, I don't.
Not at all. Again, you draft the premise when you drafted him was this is a project you need to develop. And so it's like I don't know where the development is. I mean, the injuries. Bob Myers was on 95.7 The Game on Wednesday. I envy those two guys so much for having that kind of access because that's really the only media he ever does, right? And so I always pay really close attention to that interview. And he did not sound like he was giving Wiseman a ringing endorsement. So that's just how Myers felt. Like he literally was saying this is cutthroat, and he attributed the injuries though as being a huge catalyst for why the team's kind of giving up on Wiseman. He kept saying he's a good kid. down the road he might be good. But just, he's like every time I think the words were, and don't quote me verbatim, but I'm paraphrasing, but he said every time they counted on him or they were ready to play him, he's been injured. Right. And that sucks, but at the same time, it's like, okay,
was he injured tonight?
Try him out. Yeah. It just sucks. And, for the people for example, some people criticize him for his hands, right? He did not have that hands problem his rookie year. Like, that is something that developed over time he's got serious mental issues, man. This is a confidence thing, and the team is failing him. That's the perspective that I have.
Tonight was a night that I thought when Curry went out, I thought, you know what? The offense is slowing down. They don't have anybody. It's becoming a half-court game. Why not put Wiseman in there? Because Dallas had no size. Throw the ball down to Wiseman. Give him a couple shots and see how he does. I mean, he could have probably posted up and, did that little left hook that from 5 feet, and because they didn't have anybody to guard him. They might have put McGee in the game at that time, but still, I thought that was a good time. They were up by like 15, and then all of a sudden it's, they were up by like 18, and it dropped to 9. But when they were up by 18, and you could see that they were getting stagnant, and it was going to come a half-court game all of a sudden because they didn't have Steph, I thought that would have been a perfect time to see Wiseman.
And he's a lob threat, right? Like, he's a total lob threat. And yeah, he brings so much. I don't get it.
Here's the
Play
problem.
the man or at this, it just sucks.
They don't want
until what, March? I mean,
they don't want to have the same experience that Chicago is having with Lauri Markkanen. Bottom line, they don't want to see this guy go somewhere else and start to develop and kick ass because whoa, Chicago Bulls needs a big. Lauri Markkanen would be really good. You had him and you gave him away because you said he couldn't play. And that's the issue with the Warriors. It's like, run a pick and roll offense if he's not the best suited for your pass conscious offense. I mean, but this kid can play basketball.
Yep.
And to see him languish on the bench and talk about trade proposals.
It's wiping him out, too. You can see it in his demeanor. He has this deer in the headlight look a lot when he's on the bench as the game goes along and he sees I'm not playing again and I got another DMP. Half at a timeout, you go over to Wiseman. He's kind of looking down. He looks dejected. I was watching him tonight, and he was cheering first half of the team. And he's into the game, and then second half, late in the third quarter, it's like he's just had that down look, like another night. I mean, I'm just riding pine.
Amar Singh says Wiseman wants to be a wing, and he's right. He's right. He loves the face-up game, and he's not an awesome rebounder. I mean, I can tell right now that's the case. But I agree. We don't really have the full picture.
I don't agree.
He doesn't ever get out there enough. I get the feeling that he's just a player that needs some rhythm. It's basketball is so much about rhythm. And you know what? The Warriors have like 9 assistant coaches. What's Delos Milicevic do? What's his?
No, that's a travesty.
Milicevic.
That's a travesty. They brought him in.
He's making a fat check coming over from Serbia. He was the guy that worked with Jokic.
Yes.
We were told he was going to develop this big man. He hasn't developed anything.
Yes, you're right. And he should be, I feel like he should be in Santa Cruz when Wiseman is in Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what the hell are you doing on this staff? You're just stealing money. But going back to the Wiseman thing real quick, I do disagree that he's a bad rebounder. Because again, his rookie season, he was averaging 21 minutes a game and he was pulling in five and a half boards. In the Christmas Day game against the Grizzlies, again, in 8 minutes of play, he pulled in 5 boards. And he's starting to like pick up what his role needs to be. I also think his biggest strength defensively is while he likes to face up, I do agree. But if you put him in pick and roll situations, he thrives. Like, he's a good pick and roll player. Mm-hmm. The Warriors don't run pick and roll. Right. And again, this comes down to coaching, right? Like, and look, the whole split action offense that Kerr runs, it's a derivative of the triangle. It's a simpler version of that, right?
And Princeton,
which is still very complex, though.
Yeah,
so that's part of what makes these lottery picks struggle with the offense, and I think that may be why, like, that's why Kerr sometimes is getting upset, and maybe that's why, like, Ty Jerome and Anthony Lambert are quickly getting minutes, is because they're picking the system up faster. But at the same time, it's like, again, don't give up on the kid if he's not just immediately picking up what only you coach. Like, you can sometimes do pick and roll. When you had Kevin Durant, they switched that all the time, man. Like, just shows
they did it in the finals against Boston.
Yeah.
They did it in the finals against Boston. You know,
exactly.
So listen, man. I
gotta get you on Locked On Warriors, by the way. We'll talk, man. But sorry,
right,
go ahead.
No, I mean, listen, we all love Kerr.
Yeah.
I mean, I love him as a player. I think he's a brilliant guy. But for him, and let me stop that. It's not only him, but for this narrative to be presented that Wiseman can't play, when as a coach and as an organization, part of your responsibility is to maximize the talent of your players. And that sometimes means shifting your offense, shifting your defense. I would love to see, because Wiseman gets beat sometimes, I would love to see Wiseman just be the weak side defender to come over to the strong side with his hands up, to deter strong offensive players and grab rebounds. I just don't see that versatility. I just don't see that diversiveness with Wiseman. And that bothers me because I think the kid can play.
Hey, let me ask you guys this.
Agreed.
Tonight, after 9 or 10 games experimenting with Jordan Poole in the lineup and Looney coming off the bench, Kerr went back to Looney with that starting five, which is the number one offense in basketball. Correct. You guys think you like that move? I do.
I have no problem with it.
I like Looney.
Problem with it.
I brought this up on Locked On Warriors, how like when Kerr made the switch to the small ball lineup, it was I didn't get that at all. It did not reward the team. I mean, there's a very clear evident problem that Kerr is facing right now, which is that Jordan Poole needs to start going back to what Red said, right? Like sometimes you got to do things you don't necessarily want to do or you're most comfortable with, but to get the most out of your team, you got to make compromises, you got to make adjustments. And one of those is Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, I don't understand it, but there's some obvious things, but at the same time, Jordan Poole needs to adjust. He's got to figure this out. I see that side of it too. But Jordan Poole is much better as a starter. And Steve Kerr's going to have to figure that out because Jordan Poole right now has regressed in this last couple weeks, man. He's not closing games. Like we haven't seen that almost all year. So
I'd rather see DiVincenzo in there than Poole at the end of the game.
A problem, man.
I'll tell you one thing I noticed. One thing I noticed with Poole, he's a skilled player who doesn't play well off of anybody.
Mm.
I mean, think about like James Wiseman struggled, right? We all know that. We've been discussing it for a half hour. But like if you watch him with Dante DiVincenzo sets him up. Like DiVincenzo sets him up expertly at the rim.
Right.
And they had a little rhythm going. I'm thinking of Poole and the way he plays. I haven't seen him get into a two-man game rhythm with anybody.
Mm.
I mean,
who I saw it
who does he play well with?
I saw it once.
In your mind.
With Green tonight, he did something.
I think with Steph, he plays okay. When Steph and when he's clearly the number 2 guy and Steph is not tired, they can play off each other fairly well. But I agree. I mean, when I count like that,
he doesn't guard anybody. He's not that clutch.
No, he doesn't. He's not. He's not.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see with Jordan Poole when he comes in the game. I'd like to see him more instead of getting all these shots, especially when he's coming off a screen. I don't like that shot. He's better when he's in transition and he can get the open three when he's facing the basket going into it. But when he's falling away, it looks off. He's not too good. What I'd like to see Poole do more is drive because he gets to the foul line a lot. Yeah, drive to the hoop, awesome use his quickness because he has that quick step, and then he has the ability to get the ball off his hands quick and lay it up. That's where Poole, if he does more of that and he does it off the dribble instead of trying to dribble between his legs and bounce it off his leg and turn it over, just take your quick rocket step, whether you got to do a rocker and step like Jim Barnett used to do, and then burst by the guy, get to the hoop. That will create more looks for him from the 3-point line because guys will start to sag off. But he's trying too much to dribble between 2 people. He's dribbling between 2 people.
Are we convinced the traveling Urquides says, I want to see some PB and J with
Hell the
Kuminga.
name. Hell the name.
I agree with your Queeties. No. What I'm saying is I like PB and J. I think he has high basketball IQ. Are you convinced that he couldn't help this rotation? Because he's like the one guy you can almost guarantee isn't going to play. And I get it. He's young. He's a rookie. He needs to grow. He's not a great athlete. He's not an awesome defender. But this guy would give you kind of what Bielitsa gave you as an offensive player. He stretches the floor. He knows how to play.
Good call.
I don't know. I get this feeling they're going to play him at some point, and they're going to discover down the road that, hey, actually, this guy's got a pretty high basketball IQ, and he can help us win right now. But they don't ever use him and give him a chance to see if he could be a big. I mean, if the Warriors on this team could find a 6'9", 6'10" guy like him who shoots it from high up, who can make big shots under pressure in the
get your elbow straight.
That could be a valuable piece.
Larry, your elbow was over a little bit to the right a little bit. I want to see that. Okay,
it wasn't an Antoine Jameson.
I think PBJ has a little bit of. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Otto Porter with his 3-point shot. He's kind of instant offense.
He reminds me of Matt Bullard with the Rockets. As far as just, you got a big guy who knows how to play, who can shoot the ball up high. And when you got a guy, I mean, Frank, you've tried to close out on perimeter shooters. If you've got a guy 6'9", 6'10" who shoots it up high and he's shooting from outside the arc, man, you got to get out there. I mean, that creates a lot more space.
Yeah, he's proved that, he has potential and he can make shots. Again, Kerr is in a difficult situation because it's tight. And when you commit to these young guys and you tell them that you're going to play, then you got to play them. But I would do that. I mean, he has a lot of young guys, and I think this should have started earlier. You were talking earlier this year, Larry, that, take some time at the beginning of the season and develop some of these guys. Right now it's tenuous because you can be 10th or you can be 4th or 5th, and hell would break loose if the Warriors don't make the playoffs. You know that. So there's a lot of pressure right now with Kerr, and he has a lot of guys. So I understand shortening the bench, but playing young guys with talent is never a bad thing. I don't think.
No. I mean, and I just think that Baldwin has a high IQ, and even though Kerr's treating him like a rookie, he is a rookie, but I don't think he thinks the game like a rookie. And if they gave him some minutes and some big moments and at least let him dip his toe in the water, maybe we could, I don't know, find out.
No, Larry, in 5 to 10 minutes of play a night, he can be an asset. I'm with you. It's weird that he gets a lot of DNPs and then you randomly see him and he actually looks great. And you're like, oh, wow, this is a shiny toy that they have that we rarely see. And then you don't see it again for like 2 weeks. I don't get it either. I'm with you.
I don't get it. I mean, if you can appreciate Ty Jerome and the basketball skill, why can't you appreciate Patrick Baldwin and his basketball skill? Both these guys clearly know how to play, except Jerome is not a rookie and he gets minutes. And Baldwin on a team that's desperate for size would at least draw some of these big men out to the perimeter. No run at all. We don't need it on a team that doesn't even have bigs.
Si, I got to ask you. I got two questions for you, Si.
Yeah.
One, are put Si back in the center there. I want to see.
No, you don't have to. It's all good.
Are you on your front porch?
No, we started talking about this earlier. I think.
No, I'm looking at the background. Are you sitting outside?
No,
inside?
No. This is
okay.
This is
he's got siding in his house.
Vinyl. You got vinyl siding. It looks like
this is a dining room that I think at one point was part of a deck, and they turned it into a room.
Okay.
They added a roof and stuff. And so this is just turned into my office and studio. And
cool. And then the other question was just kind of off the wall. Are you guys starting your 3:00 show tomorrow because you want to watch the flag football Pro Bowl?
No, I just said 3:00 because I thought it sounded good. I mean,
by the way, Tyler Huntley is in the Pro Bowl. Tyler Huntley.
I guess they just let anybody in these days.
Who's that? I don't know who that is. Who's that?
He's the Ravens' backup quarterback.
Played like 5 or 6 games.
Why? Why is he in the Pro Bowl?
Well, first of all, there is no Pro Bowl. It's just kind of
flag football.
What is it, Danny?
Whatever.
It's a flag football game.
That was a creative way to give him a bonus. That's all that was.
Yeah, exactly.
Give him some more money.
Jaguayo says, here's a donation. Are the Dubs sacrificing the season to develop their youngsters? What do you think, Cy? No?
What is that? Well, it doesn't have to be like either or. I mean, like, they've got enough veterans on there where, like, Kuminga's already fit, right? I mean, there's no more debate about that. Kuminga's a part of this. He's going to be in the rotation come postseason. So, it's just a matter of, like, Moody and Wiseman basically playing the minutes that Jerome and Lamb are. I think if you just did that, he'd be fine. And, I'm not opposed to Jerome and Lamb getting guaranteed deals. I think Andre Iguodala we call him Azal on Locked On Warriors. Like the character from Friday, man. My neck, my back, my neck, and my back. Ow! Like he's old. He got old, man. The guy's old.
How many games does
not aging like LeBron James? Most people don't, and so he's done. He's taken over a roster spot that the team should be given to Lamb.
How many games does Lamb have left before he reaches 50?
7, I think. 7 or 8. It's like somewhere around there. And what that tells me, and this is the crazy part, is like the fact that they're monitoring the number of games he's playing, that tells me they're probably not going to give him a guaranteed deal. So it's like, what the hell is the point of what is the point of this? Like, two-way players.
Cut him loose?
What's up?
They're going to cut him loose, you mean?
Well, they're going to have to. I mean, or they're going to be with the team in the postseason, but they can't play. And I've asked Rick Barry this. I've asked I forgot who else I recently asked this, but what kind of impact that has on the team, right? Like you're giving Lamb and Jerome 15, 20 minutes a night that's not going to exist at a certain point. And so, like, that should, in my opinion, this has been the ire of the Warrior season to me, is that those 15 to 20 minutes each player is taking per night should have been going to Wiseman and Moody to develop them. I really believe if those two players were getting these minutes since Halloween, and they didn't look bad in training camp, I don't know what the hell happened. There's got to be something behind the scenes, or it could be like this whole proxy war, and it's just Kerr and Lacob's egos going at it. I don't know, but I don't know what's going to happen, because Lamb and Jerome are probably not going to guarantee deals, and so you're investing in them, you're developing chemistry with these guys, and they're not going to be available for you. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Let me say this, Cyrus, though. I think the Warriors are probably telling them, listen, if we make a trade, we're going to find a way to possibly find a home for you so you can get your money. And I honestly believe that, because, when you have guys like that, even a Ty Jerome, he understands this is a business. I mean, this is the best professional environment he's ever been in. But if he could choose this versus having a guaranteed contract, he'll go to Chicago or Philly or somewhere in a second. And the same can be said for Lamb. So I think they're trying to work with those guys. If they make a trade, somehow, some way, they'll clear a spot up, or those guys will be a part of it and get their money. I think that's what's going to happen.
It's fair.
Sherpagny says, did Larry just say give someone a chance? Whoa. I think Sherpagny is like bent because I'm like saying that Brock Purdy's better than Lance. I'm not really sure if that's what he's referencing, but I think that's what it is. I'm not saying don't give Lance a chance. What I'm saying is that 49er fans won't be patient for Trey Lance. And I'm pretty sure that's the case. No Cap says Kerr wants vets. He's beefing with Lacob. He's taking it out of he's taking it out on the kids. The vets wanted to trade all the picks at the draft. Well, let me ask you this, and this is kind of a bigger question. Are we seeing the Warriors starting to kind of fracture a little bit behind the scenes? I mean, Cy, you're locked on, so I'll put you in the center square.
Yes.
Is Bob and Steve and Joe and Kirk and I don't know, everybody, Larry and Kirk, Joe's kids, is everybody on the same page here, or
no? Do
we have clear division, and what is the division? What's it over?
It's so, like, the most obvious factual thing we can start on is the fact that Bob Myers is on the last year of his deal. Not normal. And then you had this story from The Athletic a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, where multiple sources told multiple reporters there, that the primary issue is Joe Lacob being much more hands-on as an owner. And that it is scary the idea of an owner thinking they know the game enough where they could start actually making big decisions. That's scary. That's not cool at all. And that story seemed to imply that. Again, Myers is on the last year of his deal. And then you look at the decisions, and this has been like my whole like mystery I've been trying to solve on Locked On Warriors all season is you construct a roster where you blow out all your veterans from your bench, you replace them with DiVincenzo, JaMychal Green, and then that's pretty much it, right? Then you have like the rookies, the lottery picks, so like on paper, that's the plan seemed to be like it's time for the youngsters to rise. And they even said that. They weren't shy about it. Like Myers said that, Kerr said that. And then but that also doesn't make sense because the moment you see the minutes, they're not playing, so yeah, I think this could be potentially like the beginning of the end of what we currently have as a dynasty. I think Stephen Curry could get pissed off. I don't know, but at the same time, you could also see Bob Myers get an extension, and this is all just conjecture. But yeah, I mean, right now it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good because this team, even Bob Myers did admit that the margin of comfort is not what it normally is. Like he said that in his interview on Wednesday with the game. He was clear about that, and I love that he said that. It shows self-awareness, shows some transparency. Where he said last year he felt the margin for error was comfortable. Where if they if something happened they could still survive and win a title. This year he's not feeling that.
So that means he needs to make a trade.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they will. The question is who's going to get moved. Based off what Frank's saying and about Wiseman and how difficult it is to trade him. I agree. It probably won't be him traded. It's probably going to be Moody. It would make a lot more sense the DNPs for Moody because you're basically just saving him as a trade asset. You don't want him to get hurt. That would screw like everything up if he just played and got a serious injury. That would totally mess up whatever plan they have going on. So yeah, man, that's my guess.
Let's do this. Let's finish up this live stream with the trade deadline is Tuesday or Thursday? Thursday.
It's the 9th.
Thursday.
It's the 9th on Thursdays.
Thursday. So
afternoon.
the trade deadline's Thursday. Let's go around the room one last time and let's all pick one or two names that you think could be coming to the Warriors at the deadline. I've got two names that I think make sense. But let's throw it around the room and let's see, and then we'll write them down, and then we'll do another live stream here in the next few days. But this might be our last live stream, all four of us together before the deadline. So let's mark down who we predict will be Warriors on Thursday, and then let's just see who's right. You want to do that?
Sure.
Why don't we start with Cy because he's locked on.
I'm gonna say it's. Like my intuition.
Do you not like the question? Are you frustrated?
No, I know it. I'm just.
You frustrated with me for asking it?
No, it's just a hard one to answer because. Okay. But my intuition is telling me that they're not going to do a damn thing. They never do. They never, with the exception of the Wiggins trade, they don't make midseason trades. They are a very chemistry first team. I don't think there's issues of chemistry on this team, and that is a huge positive they have going for them. There's no dissension behind the scenes. The Draymond punch on Jordan Poole was the exception, but I've heard every source, and I'm telling you this very confidently. That's multiple sources have told me behind the scenes that that the Draymond thing is totally blown over. There is zero residual from that, and I actually learned what was going on with Draymond that day, and from knowing that, it made a lot more sense that he was just having a very bad day. It sucked. And so anyways, the point is, because of
do you want to share? Are you teasing us? Are you teasing us? Do you want me to
say it? I'm not even saying it locked on. I can't.
Okay. So you have knowledge. Cy knows things that he's not sharing with us. All right. Just want to let everybody know.
Sometimes that's the business, but
attack him. Chat, attack Cy.
But my intuition tells me no trades, but if there is a trade, my guess would be like Wiseman or something with the Bulls. I feel like Caruso coming back. That would be my guess if there's a trade.
Caruso. Okay, that's good. Danny, we go to you at Del Boca Vista behind in a community where if you don't show proper ID, the guard's not going to let you in.
Okay. Speaking of trades, I think the guy that loves to make trades is Danny Ainge. The guy loves to make deals and collect draft picks. Warriors do have some future ones, and Ainge is going to be collecting them like he did when he was at Boston. So I could see possibly Wiseman going to, if they trade Wiseman, to Utah, get Vanderbilt, maybe even Kelly Olynyk in the deal if there's something like that. I just seems like Warriors like these type of guys. But I'm going to say Vanderbilt as one and Caruso as the other. Those two guys
you named three guys. You said
Vanderbilt,
Olynyk, and Caruso.
I threw Olynyk as
you
possibly
definitely improved your odds.
Yeah, but I will say this one other thing I wanted to say about the ownership deal.
Yes.
When
as for one name, he gave me Vanderbilt, Caruso, and Olynyk.
Yeah, I give you two. You said two, so I give you two. So I got an extra bonus in there. Okay. Yeah. So here's my deal on the owners. I wanted to say because it hit me when you said about Lacob getting more involved. We saw this happen with Dallas with Jerry Jones after he won 3 Super Bowls. Then he thought, oh, I can do this thing by myself, And what's happened is they've never been back. They've never even touched an NFC championship game. And I want to give a shout out because the best owner that I have ever seen in sports is Eddie DeBartolo.
Hell yeah, dude.
Let me give you an example of something that hit me. Jeff Fuller was a safety for the 49ers and got a spinal injury in 1989. Eddie took care of him, even though the league wouldn't. That's an owner.
What Danny didn't say is in the Niners game against the Patriots at Stanford, he had a neck injury and lost feeling in his hand.
Still doesn't
and was partially paralyzed for the rest of his life. And Eddie D has put him on the payroll for the rest of his life. I mean,
that's an owner, man. That is an owner. I don't know too many people.
I agree.
That would do that.
He's a great player too.
Jeff Fuller was a great player.
Like the Bills better do that with Hamlin. You know what I'm saying? Like that, they better give similar treatment there too.
It's interesting. I'll say this. You know what? The 49ers established the Golden Heart Fund, which is their fundraising arm, which takes care of players. It's, they term it, hey, it's a hand up, not a handout kind of a thing for all 49er players that are hurting. And Keena Turner and Guy McIntyre and some of the ex-Niners run the program. And it's groundbreaking and it's precedent setting. I think the Dolphins copied the Niners, but I mean, literally we have 2 teams in the NFL. NFL has grown into tens of billions of dollars of industry. I mean, we're talking about a $30 billion industry nearly, and you can't take care of your players. I mean, what the hell? Those are the people that people come to watch. Yep. Eddie D and the Niners and the Dolphin ownership, Stephen Ross, and they are taking care of their players. And to me, that is an example that every team in the league, you have now. Let me just say this: if you didn't realize it, you all have made enough money now to be able to take care of all of your players going forward. So know that and act like it and copy the Niners and copy the Dolphins and take care of your players. That's the right thing to do. And I know the Niners know that. I'm really proud to be a Niner fan knowing that they take care of 49er players. They don't just say, oh, you can't cover a wide receiver anymore. Get out of my face. No. That guy's struggling at 52. They come together and help fund him and help him. And as far as I'm concerned, that makes them better than other teams. In my world, one donation. Then I want Frank's thoughts. No Cap 757 says KD won't be dealt till the offseason. Does Poole's salary kicks in then?
Yes.
Nets would definitely want him first off for KD. And next question is, do you have extra max contract now on the books? How does Lacob feel with that?
I don't get that. What is he? I don't get that.
He's saying that
if KD was
saying
on the
that
books.
KD would
44 million.
Would Lacob want another max deal?
Okay. Well, first of all, No Cap. I know No Cap fairly well just from all the shows and stuff. I also know No Cap despises Jordan Poole. like in no caps, right? I mean, if you can just confirm that, but I believe if I know no cap well enough,
No cap.
world,
can you
Jordan
confirm
Poole,
or deny your dislike for Jordan Poole brought to us by
gone.
Cy, who's not outside? He looks like he's outside, but he is not outside. He's inside.
Yeah, Jordan Poole is, and he's gone. So that's what no cap wants. So look, Joe Lacob's white whale is Kevin Durant. I said that last summer. I still believe it.
He says he loves JP.
Loves Kevin Durant. Like Joe Lacob would do anything to get Kevin Durant, almost anything to get Kevin Durant back in the building. So if it meant trading Jordan Poole, I think he would do it.
Says he loves Jordan Poole.
You would have to trade because
never mind.
You would have to probably trade 2 higher price guys because $44 million for KD and 23-24 for Jordan. So you might have to kick in another salary, I would think, to match that to make it work.
All right, so Cy went with Caruso. Danny's one guy is named Vanderbilt, Olynyk, and Caruso.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And Dan gets a -2 for did not follow directions.
No, you said 2. You said 2.
All right, well that's 3.
-1. Just
I
one.
asked for a couple. I hate to see
couples 2, and I gave you 3 because I was putting in. Yeah, I was actually putting Vanderbilt.
I went to a wedding. A couple got married. There were only 2 of them, not 3.
I was putting Olynyk and Vanderbilt in one deal.
No, I get you. I'm busting your chops.
Yeah.
Let's go to Frank Red. Frank, what do you think? Is Thursday night? Who is likely to be a Warrior? That's not right now.
I can see Thibault being with the Warriors, and I think that would probably cost the Warriors Moody. I think that Philly is still smarting from letting the kid from Arkansas go, who's on the OKC's team now.
Isaiah Joe.
Yeah.
I love Isaiah Joe. He's one of the best looking shooters I've ever seen.
Right, and Philly basically just kind of let him go.
I wanted him bad,
and he's kind of a Moody type, who's a catch and shoot guy. Moody just needs confidence. I think he needs reps. He's a good teammate. And I think Philly would like to have him because he can shoot. He has some offensive potential. Knowing Kerr likes closers on defense, and I think that he could actually utilize Thibault in ways that Philly hasn't. With regards to Wiseman, I only see one team with Wiseman, and that's Orlando. I think Orlando has some bigs that they could cut loose with to take a flyer on Wiseman for a bigger upside.
Jonathan Isaac?
Isaacs would be great. Wendell Carter would be great. I think Chicago would like Wiseman, but they would have to somehow get another team involved because I don't think they're going to re-sign Vukovic, who's going to be a free agent at the end of this year. So they need a big that to kind of appease their fans and kind of develop. And I think Wiseman could work there, but that would be some creative mathematics to make that happen. So, those are my thoughts.
Okay, I'm no cap here says
dropping dollars. Wow, no cap.
No cap says Lacob's in love with Wiseman. He's going nowhere. I'd put money on it, and I think no cap is right about that. No cap also says if you trade Jordan Poole and others, you still have extra salary because Wiggins is here on a lower max salary, and if Dre opts in, that balloons the luxury tax.
There's also the possibility of the CBA is going to be revised after this year, and there's been a lot of talk about penalties for draft picks being eliminated with the next CBA because you have teams like the Thunder and the Jazz and other teams who are stockpiling first-round picks. Who I know this is years down the road, but for the Thunder, it's not. It's very close, and it's really not justifiable. It's not fair to penalize teams for drafting well, and that's what the current system does. So there has been talk, and given the way Lacob has acted and spoken, it makes you wonder if he knows something. But there's a very strong possibility that the next CBA will not penalize draft picks anymore. And if that's the case, I think Draymond stays, and I think they'll pay him. But I just need to add that in there because that is very possible that the CBA could be friendly to the Warriors in the next run.
I'll say this. I think so. Frank's going Thibault. Danny's going Vanderbilt and Olynyk in one trade or Caruso. Cy's going Caruso. I like Thibault too, as far as I could see that easily working. I do think the Warriors want to do something, but I think Frank pegged it perfectly. They're deathly afraid to trade Wiseman and get burned. So I could see Wiseman in Orlando, but I couldn't see Wiseman in Chicago for Caruso. But I'll tell you the one that we're not hearing rumors of, but I absolutely could see the Warriors doing it, and I think it would be a smart move, is Moses Moody to the Pacers for Chris Duarte. And Duarte was the guy that Lake wanted with that Moses Moody pick. I don't think anybody doubts that. And Duarte is literally at this point mired at the end of Indiana's bench. They're going nowhere.
He really?
Oh, he's DNP coach's decision tonight against the Kings.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a
and
good call,
Duarte is 25, where Moody's 20. Moody might be better long term, but Duarte is much more ready to help the Warriors rotation right now. And I think that would give them another scorer. And I think Duarte in this system plays better than Moody. I think that's the move they make. If I got to put one name down, I'm going Chris Duarte from Moody.
I like it, Larry.
You like
Good
that?
call, man.
Yeah, I like that too.
Amar Singh says Duarte. There you go. Thank you. GTC Reels, Larry called it. All right. Mic drop. I'm out of here. All right. No, that's going to do it for us tonight, though. We're 2 hours and 26 minutes into it. We've got 145 people still hanging in the chat. It's time to play some ads, but I'm going to let you guys get out because I know, you have better things to do with your time. Frank, good to see you, man.
Take care.
And, we will see. And we'd love to have you back later this week. I don't know what your schedule's like, but we'll talk.
All right.
Good to see you.
Good night, Joe.
See you, Frank.
Good night.
Cy. Oh, like that. Cy was gone. I saw billowing smoke. Danny, you got a final thought?
Final thought. It's nice to see him get nice to see him get a win tonight, actually. And what's their next couple of games? I know they're winnable. I can't remember what they have. I know it's a short homestand.
Well, it was a 3-game road trip.
They got OKC coming up. I know that.
So let's see.
Let me look here.
They don't play tomorrow. They don't play. Oh, they play Monday against
OKC. Yeah. So that's a winnable game.
I'll tell you the one guy that I just think is this awesome player is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh, with OKC. Oh gosh.
Oh my God. I mean, I would literally, I wouldn't want to trade Kuminga, but I would literally say, you want Wiseman, you want Moody, you want picks, you want Poole, I would take Gilgeous-Alexander I'd basically shake the entire team up.
Oh yeah. He's a player.
He is.
He is good. He is good. So yeah, that's, they've got OKC and then they got Portland. Winnable games at home.
So and then OKC at home, that's what?
Monday.
That's Monday.
And then on Wednesday, wait a minute. Monday they've got
OKC.
No, wait a minute. Why did I look
Monday?
I'm a week ahead of myself. Yeah, Monday.
Wednesday they play
Trailblazer. They're up at Portland.
At
Portland, and then they come home Saturday and play the Lakers. So
what time's that game? Is that an early
game?
That's a 5:30 game. That's a national TV.
That's a national TV game. Hopefully Steph's okay because
LeBron and Steph at non-national TV.
I mean, these are games that are important because OKC's right behind them, Portland's right behind them, and the Lakers have been coming up. So they got to put some distance in between some of these teams right now and get in.
Do you buy NBA tickets? Do you go to the Suns games?
I have. It's been a couple years. I haven't gone in a couple years.
Give you an idea. It's next Saturday, February the 11th. Okay. Yeah. I'm looking, not only do they in the scoreboard, not only does it give you the matchup and the time, it will give you the tickets as low as, right?
Right.
Tickets for that night for Pacers Wizards in Washington, D.C. or Maryland or wherever they play. Yeah. The Wizards play the phone booth. At the Capital One Arena, I guess they're in DC.
Right. I've seen it.
Going for as low as $14. Warriors Lakers, the cheapest ticket, $227.
Yeah.
I mean, there's your variable pricing. Yeah. $227 is the cheapest ticket to see Warriors Lakers.
Yeah. Sit way up there in the nosebleed section. Yeah. How would you like to have watched that basketball game where the Warriors played in San Antonio in the Alamo Dome and been like up on the third deck of a football stadium basically, and you can't even see the court. I mean, you need binoculars up there to see what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if have you ever gone to a major like a Final Four?
Yeah. Yeah. I went, they had it down here at well, it wasn't the actual Final Four, it was to get to the Final Four. And it was here in Glendale, and they played it in the actual where the Cardinals play.
God.
So it was like,
and did they put a curtain up at least?
Yeah, they did some part, but it was like the seats still were ridiculous. I had to move to actually see the game.
So I go to KNBR sends me to the Final Four in 2005, and it was a sweetheart deal. I mean, seriously, it was like fly on like Friday and stay and do all your shows from there the entire week, and then cover the Final Four on Saturday and fly home.
Right.
So I mean, it was I was in St. Louis, right?
Right.
Well, the Rams play in the Edwards-Jones Dome.
Oh, that's right.
And it was inside the Edwards-Jones Dome. So it gets to the final, and it's Sean May in North Carolina against Darren Williams in Illinois. And I get there, and I'm looking at where the media section is. We're on the top rim of the stadium. Like literally, I could touch the roof of the dome. That's how far I was. Literally in the last row. And
Jeez.
I'm looking down. It was so far away that if you didn't have binoculars, it was like, what are you doing? It was like watching a game from the top of Sears Tower or something. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I got there. I saw them doing the layup line. I saw where my seat was. And I'm like, I remember sitting there. I saw Tony Bruno up there, and I'm like, Tony, what the hell? What the hell are these? Look where we're sitting. And he's like, yeah, the writers get the good seats. They put the radio guys up here in the rafters. And I'm sitting there, and I'm watching the layup line, and I'm like, I'm out of here. I walked out of that place, got a cab, went back to my hotel, and watched it on TV.
You think that the NBA?
I mean, I could not believe it. I could not believe how far away I was. It was like sitting in the last row at the Warrior game, and then adding another deck on top of that, and then you're sitting like back there.
It's interesting, Larry.
Amazing,
because you look at arenas across the NBA and college basketball. I think the top basketball arena is the United Center, which is 20,197. Most of them are right around 17, 18. Is somebody
my deceased uncle worked on the United Center. He was a plumber. He put in all the bathrooms in the United Center.
Do you think there's be some engineer mind and team that would say, you know what, we're going to develop a 25,000 arena that is intimate, but a little bit bigger, and it would host so many Final Fours? And because putting a basketball game in an NFL stadium is ridiculous. Build a 25,000 seat arena, and it'll be so loud, but everybody would still have a really good seat.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see that. I mean, 20,000.
Well, they say that the Pacers' home is like, I was asking Fitz, because Fitz, obviously voice of the Warriors. He's been in almost every arena in America. I'm like, what's the best basketball arena out there? And he said, is it called Conseco Fieldhouse or something like that?
Yeah, that's Conseco
Fieldhouse. I think is what it's called. And then he says it's awesome. He says that, it's an incredible arena for basketball, and it's just like a perfect arena for basketball. I'll tell you the one that I liked, and it was really comfortable. Now, I went to spring training, years ago, and the Suns PR people put like anybody who was like with baseball, like I was I was there covering the Giants. And so I told the lady, I think her name was Julie Fye. I'm like, yeah, I'm here covering the San Francisco Giants. Can I get a ticket to the game, or can I get a press credential? She's like, well, we don't do press credentials for baseball, media. And I'm like, well, but we're in town. We just want to see the game. They're like, yeah, just come on out. I'll leave you a pass. So she leaves me a pass. Well, basically she puts me in a luxury suite with like other baseball people, like Derek Lee. Remember Derek Lee, the former
pitcher? Yeah.
No, Derek Lee, the big first baseman for
yeah.
Marlins.
Yeah.
So he was playing. I think he might have been a prospect with the Padres at the time, and so he was in there with his girl and like a couple other people, and I was in there. Anyway, I like that arena. It was called at the time America West Arena.
Yeah, America West, and it's right across.
Do they still play there?
Yeah, they still play there. It's right across.
That was nice.
They actually redid it a couple years ago, the inside, but it's right across from what they call Bank One ballpark, which is they now name it something else. I can't remember.
I've never been inside Bank One.
Really?
Never
It's
once.
a pretty interesting stadium because
it looks
it's got a roof.
Like an airplane hangar from the outside.
It does. It's really weird looking from the outside. It's
like a gigantic rectangle.
Yeah, it's an open air but it's got a retractable roof. So they have to have it for summer games here. It's 110. But
what's it like? You've sat in there in the dead of summer?
Oh, many times. I go to most of the Giants games.
Okay, I know you're an AC, but it's a huge place, and it's, as you said, it's hot as hell outside. Can you tell when you're in there that it's like 110 degrees outside? I mean, can you
tell the difference when you walk in?
Well, no, I know you can tell the difference. Yeah. God, I hope so. But I mean, can you tell because
you're in a different world inside. It feels like you're in a whole different world when you're inside.
Oh, really?
You don't even think about it being hot because you're.
So they must have just. So, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, when it's that hot, doesn't that mean that there's like some people maybe in the upper deck or something that are sitting next to just freezing cold air blowing on them?
You don't really feel the air.
How do they do that?
I don't know, because they're blowing air in there. Obviously, to cover that much square footage, you got to have some strong air. But I never really feel the actual air blowing on you. But it's comfortable in there, and Graves
it looks
put it
cool
in the chat.
On TV.
It's called,
I'll say that
it's called Chase Field. Yeah, it is a pretty cool place. The when you're walking in the what do they call it? The concourse area, whatever. It's pretty wide. It's nice. You've got all kinds of amenities.
What's your favorite stadium that you've been to, baseball wise? Because you were at San Diego this year.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Is San Diego's nicer than the Giants? Is it nicer than Oracle?
It's got a different feel to it. I love the feel more of the downtown around the ballpark at San Diego. I like the Giants park inside a little bit better because of the beautiful views of the bay.
The Gaslamp district.
But the district is awesome. It's an incredible
awesome.
Feel. I mean, when you go to it's just unbelievable. The town's hopping. People are all walking around the streets. You don't feel threatened. You feel pretty safe. And
it's nice.
I mean, that's probably besides Candlestick, Oracle, it's my favorite. But if I haven't been to some of the ones back east, but the ones that I'm hearing, PNP is like a top one. A lot of people say is a great park.
Pittsburgh PNC Park.
PNC. I mean, I call it PNP. Yeah, PNC. Love to. One of these days I want to go on a trip and I'm going to hit 10 to 12.
Camden's
parks.
awesome.
Camden is great. I have been out to Fenway. That's pretty cool. Just feel the whole, especially when you see just everything around. It's just so old.
Oh, Fenway's really cool.
Yeah.
Plus in the outfield, there's Lansdowne Street. You got all those bars and I went back there. They got really cool spots. They got like video game bars where it's basically like an arcade, except they're serving drinks.
Yeah. So Boston's cool. I just think it would be really cool to.
Coors Field's kind of mid.
Yeah, Coors doesn't look
it's not that great
to me. And I've been to Dodger Stadium 100 times.
Dodger Stadium is really cool, but except there's just nothing to do outside the stadium.
You just got to be careful there when you're going to the parking lot now because it's and just to me, if you're a Giants fan, I would go now as a closet Giants fan. I would not. What they do, I mean, there's fights breaking out all the time at Dodger Stadium. I don't understand it. I mean, there's people just. I mean, you see even women.
I saw that
fighting.
Padres Dodgers fight last year. It was brutal.
Yeah, you're better off if if you're going to wear your Giants gear, just keep your mouth shut and don't say anything. Don't mouth off. Don't do what I did when I was 23. I'm sitting out in left field, tearing Pedro Guerrero's poster night, ripping it because the Giants were ahead 9-0, 10-0, and I'm like, Pedro Guerrero, yeah, and all these hot dogs are flying at me. But that was like 1987.
You do dumb stuff when you're young. I went to a Giants game with a buddy of mine, and my buddy's kind of a tough guy, but I mean, still, there's a gigantic guy in front of us, huge guy. My buddy lit his ponytail on fire. He had a ponytail. My buddy lit his ponytail on fire.
His own?
And what's that?
He lit his own ponytail on fire?
No, this guy who was sitting in front of us.
Okay. Oh, my goodness.
Ponytail on fire. And I was looking the other way. When I turned around, I smelled burnt hair. And then I see this guy starting to get agitated.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, I just started walking away. I just got up and started walking away.
Oh,
like,
man,
dude,
you do that today, you're liable to just,
I mean, yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, this guy chased my buddy down a corridor. It was bad.
Wow.
I just pretend like I was walking away to get something to eat.
Yeah. Hey, we ought to do.
Like, come on, man. Are you serious? I go, how effed up are you that you're lighting somebody's hair on fire?
Oh, my goodness.
Like,
did you see
we gave my buddy a hard time about that.
Major League Baseball put out, I think it was, might have been, I can't remember the author's name, but put out the leading home run hitter projected for each team. It was kind of an interesting.
God. Jock Peterson, probably, right?
No, it was actually.
It's going to be Jock.
I think it was.
Jock looks lean. I'll say that. That's probably the best thing I saw from that fan fest.
It might have been.
I never saw a picture, by the way, of the fan fest. Never one.
Yeah, there was none put out. Yeah, and all
no
of a sudden,
pictures, no fan went on his own Twitter, took a picture of the crowd.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to be kidding me. Is that possible?
Yeah, it doesn't make
no
sense.
fan took one picture of the crowd the
Yeah.
entire day and put it out because I didn't see one all day. I wanted to see what kind of crowd they got.
I'm one of the bets I want to take, and I haven't seen it available yet, but I want to bet. I want to bet on Brandon Belt having a big year in Toronto. They moved the fences in. It's like in the power alley. It's like 3.
That's another move I did not get. Brandon Belt, last year you made him a captain. He came into the stadium on a boat.
Right.
And you made everything about him. This year, despite the fact that you have no first baseman at all, you just kissed him off.
Right.
Like you didn't, screw him. You don't have anybody better.
Yeah. It's crazy. They actually project.
I don't know what's happening in Giants land, but that's going to be a rough
This article
one.
projects the Giants' leading home run hitter is Mitch Haniger with 24. And the Dodgers have 31, Mookie Betts. Diamondbacks, Christian Walker, 28. And the Padres, 35 for Tatis. So
what about Machado?
And Rockies, 27, CJ Cron.
There were a number of this offseason is the weirdest offseason in the history of the Giants. I mean, very, very odd the way they went about their business. Very odd. I mean, they tried to get Judge. He leaves them at the altar. That wasn't surprising. Then they go get Correa. Then they lose Correa. They've totally teased their fans. And then they just, after that, it was like, okay, here's Haniger and Conforto and no first baseman, no leadoff hitter, no speed or defense up the middle. I heard Marty talking about the greatness of the Giant pitching today. What the hell is he even talking about? They have Sean Manaea and
well, the thing about them is
they don't
really
pitching.
have.
Did someone not tell Marty they lost?
Rodon.
They lost Rodon.
Here's the thing about pitching
why is their
staff.
Pitching better?
I think Logan Webb is a 1.5 to a 2 pitcher. I don't know if he's a solid 1. He's close, but I'd put him about a 1.5. The rest of the guys, they're 3s
like
or better or 4s or 5s. I mean,
why would you lost Rodon and you added Manaea and Stripling? Even if you thought that was good. Rodon is a frontline starting pitcher. You replacing a frontline starting pitcher with two, number 4 starters is not in most people's reality, an upgrade. So this idea that the Giants have all these great arms, I don't see that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's delusional.
their only chances is if these guys can pitch 5-6+ innings an outing and keep the bullpen rested, because if they get into the bullpen, if these guys get knocked around, which you would think some of these guys, since they're 3, 4s, and 5s, I mean, Sean Manaea, some are projecting him as the game 2, their second starter, either Manaea or Cobb. That's, I mean, geez, I don't know. I don't see it. So I'm looking at this team.
We'll see. I mean, we're rooting for him.
I'm rooting for him, and I see it going 2 ways. I see this team overachieving, and they stay healthy enough that they're competitive and they fight for a wild card spot, which is going to be tough because there's 6 teams that are better clearly than them right now. So one of those 6 teams is going to have to falter. But for them to make it, they're going to have to overachieve. They're going to have to stay healthy. The other way it goes is I think they're a 70 to 75 win team. I don't see them at just coming in at 80 and 81 and 81 again. I see them, one way or the other. They're going to win 87, 88 games, or they're going to be in that 75 range. Because if anything happens where they lose a couple guys, which they will because they sign guys that are injury prone, they don't have much depth. You know how we talk about the Warriors, Larry, when you say there's like 7 guys that contribute nothing?
Right.
The Giants 40-man roster has 7 players that really are not even ready for the major. I mean, Luciano and Matos had to go on to the 40 roster. Otherwise they would have been swapped, taken in the Rule 5. So they had to protect them. They're going to be at AA to start the season. They're not going to contribute probably this year. And then you got other guys like Wisely, who was a AA. Isan Diaz, has been up much. It's not a deep roster. They're catching. They're back up.
Last place
Sable.
team.
Blake Sable is a guy they picked up from Cincinnati in the Rule 5. If they don't keep him, he's got to go back. So they're just.
I mean, listen to Colorado's rotation, okay? Because let's just talk about that for a second. Kyle Freeland, Herman Marquez, Antonio Sensatella, and then Austin Gomber, Ryan Fellner. It's not great, but I mean, with Daniel Bard closing around the diamond, they go Elias Diaz behind the plate, CJ Crone at first, Brendan Rodgers at second, Ryan McMahon at third, Ezekiel Tovar at short. I don't know who he is. Chris Bryant in left, Randall Grichuk in center, Michael Toglia, who I think is a prospect, in right, and Charlie Blackmon is the DH. I think it's Giants Rockies battling it out for last place.
I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
I think it's going to be a battle between the Giants and Arizona for third.
Arizona's rotation is Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly.
See Colorado as the tail end of this division.
Madison Bumgarner, Dre Jameson, Tommy Henry, with Melanson closing. That's not great. But their team is problem. They got Gabe Moreno, Christian Walker, Ketel Marte, Jose Rojas, or Josh Rojas, I should say, Geraldo Perdomo, Lourdes Gurriel, Corbin Carroll, Jake McCarthy, Pavin Smith, the DH. They also have Kyle Lewis.
Now, what I'd like to see Arizona do this year,
I think Arizona's better.
I'd like to see Ketel Marte have a big bounce back year and them not be in it at the All-Star break. Somehow the Giants are still in the race, and I'd like to see the Giants trade for Ketel Marte, and that would be a guy that can, if the Giants are somehow hovering in the race, hanging around, and Arizona's not they may be willing to get rid of a Ketel Marte, who the Giants could really use. And, we'll see where that goes. But
all right, Danny, have a good night. We'll talk to you Monday night after the Warrior game, maybe.
Yeah, that should be good.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody.
Great, Dan, Coach Amelia. Have a good night. Peace out. All right. Thanks to everybody in the stream. We'll play a couple spots right here and then bolt for the door on the Krug Show.
Larry Kruger here for Telmetrics. Thanks to Casey Bateman and the good people at Telmetrics. If you're an occupational therapist, if you're an orthopedic surgeon, a chiropractor, a physical therapist of any kind, Telmetrics is designed for you to use in your practice and will greatly benefit your patients. Telmetrics uses computer vision and artificial intelligence and provides a platform for outpatient rehab therapy services, both in the clinical and the telehealth environments. So using Telmetrics can improve your patient's experience and much more. So for all your sports injury needs, or if you're a physical rehabilitation specialist of any kind, make sure you use telmetrics.co, TELMETRIX.co. And thanks to Casey Bateman and all the good people at Telmetrics for being a proud sponsor of the Crew. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Dan Coach Emilio. Dan is a buddy, and he is a phenomenal retirement planning specialist. And you can contact him today at securemoney.com or at his number 925-628-9966. There's a lot of uncertainty in our world right now, and you want to make sure that your money is secure. That is the key. Danny's got 25 years of experience, born and raised right here in the Bay Area, and he can help you get an immediate 10% premium bonus on your principal retirement account. So give him a call, 925-628-9966. He'll make an appointment with you, and you can sit down. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of a deal. He'll consult with you and come up with a strategy to get you going to where you want to be. Once again, 925-628-9966, securemoney.com on the web.
Rye, how's the party?
I've not even made it in yet.
Now, where are you? Are you outside?
I'm in LA. What's up?
Is that your girl?
You
guys having a good time tonight?
I'm in just like a general LA. I'm not quite sure where I'm at. Yeah.
Is it a hotel somewhere? Downtown?
It is. It's the Bonaventure Brewing Company. But I think that's it's the Bonaventure Hotel in downtown LA. Yeah, so I've been in line for 90 minutes.
Nice. Well, it's 11:24. You haven't been inside yet?
No. Heavens no.
What time does this thing start?
It was supposed to start at 10 p.m., but yeah. I want to bail.
Where you guys staying?
We're staying at her house in Calabasas. We're gonna take an Uber
How far
back.
is that? How far is that?
How far is that, Jeff? About 30 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I thought you were in downtown LA right now. You're not in downtown LA. then.
I'm fully downtown LA. Am I not done? Yeah, we're fully. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Yeah. I'm trying
Calabasas is only 30 minutes from downtown.
Well, theoretically. I mean, that's what she's telling me, so that I'm still
I don't
here.
know about that.
You know?
Is it going to be a
Yeah, I don't
fancy
know about
shindig, dude? No tie.
Dude, I mean, well, yeah, that's true. I'm hoping it's not too fancy. I did have to go down 4 flights of stairs just to find a bathroom.
Now, what is it? Is it dinner, dancing? Is it open bar? I mean, what are you looking forward to here?
Allegedly, we get 2 free drinks, although I smuggled in a few, which we already have crushed while we're in line. But yeah, it's. I mean, that's why I wrote I'm a prom king. Oh wait, apparently we're about to get in. Oh wait,
Did you bring your crazy pen?
Yes, yes I did.
All right, man. We'll let you go.
All right. I'm sorry.
There you go. Rye, having a good time tonight. All right, that's going to wrap us up. That is going to wrap us up. Although we probably do have one more spot to run, and we'll run it right here on the Krug Show.
And thanks to Tony Cassera and the good people at Cassera's Italian Menswear. They are housing the Krug Show t-shirts, and they're a proud sponsor of the show as well. The Krug Show t-shirt, the Krug Show podcast t-shirt is available there at their store in Dublin. Their address is 7372 San Ramon Road in Dublin, California. And go see Tony Cassera and get yourself a Krug Show t-shirt and support the show. And special thanks to our sponsor, New York Style Italian Sausage. That's right, NewYorkStyleSausage.com is their website. Phenomenal product, whether it's the breakfast sausage, the Italian mild, the Italian spicy, the chorizo. You cannot go wrong with New York Style Italian Sausage. Once again, NewYorkStyleSausage.com. Often imitated, never equaled.
We grew up with a Sunday dinner. That means no matter how busy you were, no matter where the hell you were, you came to dinner on a Sunday night. Yeah, Sunday dinner without sausage, it's like a church without God. You know, how can you go to church if you don't believe in God? You know, and along with the sausage also became the discussions. That was discussion night. You know, it wasn't a typical family that you sit there and you're quiet, you know, and you don't talk with a mouthful. Oh no, man. Italians talk when they're eating. Italians even talk when they're sleeping. And definitely we talk with our hands. So if we can't express it through our mouth, through our lips, we express it with our hands. So, and that's what sausage is, really. It's an expression, you know, that life is good.
All right, time for us to bolt for the door. Hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight. GTC Real says, Pasquale. We got this one from Chardal, who says, hey, Larry, can I join you on the Warriors postgame show? Chardal, I'm bolting for the door, but Monday night, please do. And we'll take some video calls Monday night. Ramelia Sports Report, RSR, says, I want to join too. I'll be back when you go live. Join me on Monday night. We will go live on Monday night. I'm probably going to do, so basically this weekend, this is kind of like the All-Star game weekend. So I've watched the college All-Star game, the Collegiate Players Association game from the Rose Bowl. I watched the East-West Shrine game from, I believe, St. Petersburg. I think that's where that was. Maybe Houston. I forget exactly where that one was. And then I taped the Senior Bowl, and I'm going to watch that tonight right now. So I'm going to do a live stream probably sometime tomorrow talking about all my favorite prospects from these three All-Star games. So if you're an NFL draft fan, check that out tomorrow. I'll be putting that out, and then I'll put out a bunch of clips from that on Monday. Hope you're enjoying the channel. And I want to thank everybody, by the way, who has helped support the channel. I mean, the fact of the matter is this channel has grown by leaps and bounds. It's here we are. It is the 4th of February, and we now have 13,057 total subs. So if you haven't subbed yet, please do. Hit like and subscribe. If you hit like, that helps the algorithm. If you hit subscribe, you'll just get a little notification every time we go live. And it will just remind you that you can join us. And then, of course, we also have about 100 people right now who are club members, and they get all the behind-the-scenes data and videos that I put out, generally sitting in my car talking about the channel. So hope you enjoy that. But Carlo P says 50,000 on the way. Well, we'll be there at some point. I'm confident of that. 13,057 right now. So thank you to everybody. I really, I like the content that we put out. I hope you guys do as well. I should remind everybody, we do have Krug Show t-shirts in, and they're $25 plus shipping. I promise I will get them out on Monday. I was trying to get them out Friday and then Saturday, and then I got busy today. I had to get my kid a tuxedo for the prom. Junior prom's coming up. Then I had to go out to Pig in a Pickle to film the commercial that we're going to have on here for Pig in a Pickle. And that's our title sponsor. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle, our title sponsor. Great barbecue. Check them out in Corte Madera and Marin County, also in Emeryville. They're open 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday in Emeryville, 7 days a week in Corte Madera. The brisket, the ribs, the chicken, the sausages, everything's made by scratch every day. Damon and Mary, Pig and a Pickle, great restaurant, great barbecue. Check it out. But thank you to them for being proud title sponsors of the Krug Show. And I just want to say thanks to all of you guys because, you guys have helped make this a really enjoyable experience. We've been doing this since, I believe, March 1st. So we're 11 months in and we have 13,000 subs plus, headed towards 14. Mitchell and Ness said, I unsubbed. I couldn't take the Lance bashing. Maybe I will sub again later down the road. All right. Well, we got that to look forward to, that Mitchell and Ness had subbed, then heard me say that I think Brock Purdy's better than Trey Lance, and that if I'm the Niners, I would consider trading Trey Lance, then unsubbed, views that as bashing, but may sub down the road. All right, there you go. It's a full night on YouTube. James Cho says, commercial of you eating brisket. Yes, thank you. Chris Hansen says he unsubbed, but he's here. He's here. Mitchell and Ness, LOL. Come on, Mitchell and Ness. Bring me back the sub that you used to sub, and you're here anyway. Could you just sub again, please? I like Trey. I'm fair to Trey. I am. I just think Purdy's better right now. All right. Thanks, everybody. Until tomorrow, we'll put out a video tomorrow, and then maybe we'll do a little live stream on Monday night. Hope you're enjoying all the videos. Go to the Krug Show on YouTube. My video editor is exploding, turning many of these shows into shorter, more condensed videos. And there's a lot of really cool ones. And I put out a video earlier tonight before the show, the 7 moves that I would make, to help turn the 49ers around going into next year. Check it out. Check it out. Appreciate, though, all of you. Arthur Henry says, thanks, Larry. Mark Graves said, Larry, better have barbecue sauce all over your face in that ad. Carlo P. Good night, Larry. Thanks again. People are like, how can we miss you if you won't go away?
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you won't get exactly what you asked for. Here for whatever you bring me, getting handled.